Hello, Laurie. Hey, Loki. How you doing, brother?
Okay,
Hey,
it's good to be
hey,
here.
Eddie.
Hello!
Hey, amazing. How's everybody doing?
Good. We are together here. I have friend also.
Hello, friend. What's your name?
Happy to be here.
What's your friend's name?
My name is Kadi.
Kadi. Kadi, lovely to meet you.
Yeah, happy to meet you.
Since I'm in Italy and my Italian is very bad, I will still say piacere, which is nice to meet you in Italian.
How's your new home?
It's coming along. We're in the basement at the moment, like the downstairs apartment, which is quite nice because it's inside of like the side of the mountain. So this little spot here, where I've put my gong and things, is kind of like the deepest part of the house, and it feels that it's got this very grounded energy. Whereas the top of the house is literally like at the peak of the mountain, and the energy there feels very different. It feels quite exposing, actually, in quite a powerful way. You know, if you stand there in the wind or the lightning or the thunder, then the glass will literally shake, you know, and you'll feel that closeness just as the thunder's rumbling. So it's got kind of a very different kind of quite active energy. So I really like it down here, actually. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise. Merite, hello, welcome, lovely to see you.
Thank you. I just arrived kind of like 1 second ago in the door, just, oh, I made it, yeah.
Amazing, welcome, how are you doing? Merite, how's it all going?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not here yet, definitely. But thank
You're
you.
landing.
I'm good. Yeah, yeah. The puppy was so cute. And I talked to the friend of mine who lost her dad, and she just told me what happened because you were there when he died, and it was an amazing experience. So she was so curious about hearing out, of course, what I thought about it. So it kind of like being on the journey and then driving super fast, and it's blowing insane and raining in a storm, just running up. So yeah.
Well, welcome, Merite, and thank you for all the energy you've brought to get here. Thank you. So, it wouldn't be the same without you, so thank you.
Thank you.
Laurie, how you doing, lovely?
Good. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, nice. And have you been doing any of the breaths in the background?
I practiced a little bit last week, and then I kind of got sidetracked, but I'm getting back on board.
Yep, that's all good. It's that's something about the
I went
breath
back to the
which-
classroom and got some to work with.
Yeah, nice. It does come and go. Even with myself, I'll find, as life kind of comes in, it will be like maybe the practice will go out for a little bit, but then you have this amazing moment where you get to rediscover the practice, and it's kind of like, oh my God, why am I not doing this?
Not doing it, yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, I can't remember. I can't understand why I could forget that it felt this good. But it's I think that's just the cycle. So don't beat yourself up.
When we're ready, I guess, right?
That's it, absolutely. Welcome, David. How you doing, brother?
Glad to be here. Glad for you to respond when I was trying to figure out how to get access. Wasn't sure what to do. I'm kind of one of the new people, so.
Oh, well, welcome.
I was trying to figure out how to do things. Then you responded right away and I got in, so I thought, excellent.
Yeah, nice. Always good. And have you done any breath work before?
Conscious connected breath is what I'm the most familiar with. I have someone that I usually go to a couple times a month.
Nice. Oh, brilliant. Okay. Well, you'll be right up, up to kind of speed, I imagine, with what everyone's doing. So that's brilliant. Yeah, nice. I'll explain all the breaths we're going to be doing anyway, and I'll be actually doing the breaths and guiding you through each section. And just as I always say to everyone in every session, use my breath as a guide, but always follow your body. So if it's feeling like you need a bit more, give it a bit more. If you feel like you need less, give it less. If you find yourself breathing out when I'm breathing in, let that be there. I know it's lovely to be in sync, and like it is nice to kind of feel that harmony, but the reality of a situation is we've all got different sized lungs, and short of making the practice very regimented by going, okay, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, which works for some people. But for me, I feel again that we miss that sacred connection to our own body, our own breath. So definitely, follow your breath over following me. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share before we begin? No? Brilliant. Okay. So this obviously we're now moving into that lovely time of the year where nature's waking back up again. It's giving us that after that winter, that kind of inward journey, we're now actually going to be having this assistance from the whole of the universe. The whole of the world is waking back up, and that energy is something we can tap into. But for many people, including myself, the winter can actually be quite a brutal time. You can have some quite powerful journeys that you have to go through. And if anyone saw my post, you'll see that I arrived to our house here in Italy to find it completely taken over by animals. And it was a real shocker. We slept in our car for 3 days, because it's like, you just got to deal with this stuff. And then we were able to move downstairs. But constantly we're being presented in life opportunities to reframe how we're feeling. It's so easy to autopilot, kind of go, oh, okay, yeah, this is shit, this is crap, this is a bad thing. That's so easy. That's like the automatic. But actually, to be able to kind of reach a little bit higher and be like, okay, this is actually taking me to where I need to be, not where I want to be, but where I need to be. And for us, that was, we didn't want to clear up lots of animal stuff. Hello, Marika, welcome. And we certainly didn't want. Hello, Marika, welcome, lovely. So I'm just doing a little intro.
What kind of animals was it? Kind of like
it was rats. It was rats. Yeah, it wasn't nice. So it was like, yeah, intense.
Not monkeys or anything.
No monkeys. that may have been even more bizarre. So we certainly didn't want that. And actually, it was so interesting because the day we'd had flying was absolutely beautiful. My partner's disabled, so she's in a wheelchair. And it means we have to get help at every single section. And I'm pushing her with one hand, and I'm pushing 70 kilograms of luggage in the other. And that's like, my day. But actually that day and doing all of that was so magical. We met so many beautiful people that by the time we got here, we were flying high. We were like, wow, those flight attendants, they were so nice to us. We had a man serenade us in Italian when he picked Vic on the wheelchair. And it was just like, wow, this is life. This is the universe speaking to us. And it was like we could really feel it, and it felt like a blessing, you know. Every interaction was meeting God, you know, and God was smiling at us, and it was beautiful. But then, boom, whoa, the house, total chaos, thousands of pounds worth of damage, you know. And it's like, there we are. This is the opportunity. This is where all the breath work, all the psychedelic journeys, all of the out-of-body explorations, this is where we actually put it into fucking practice. You know, it's not in a mental kind of like, oh yes, I'm a super yogi. No. It's here where you're cleaning dead rats off the floor, you know? And it's like, you know, to do that and actually smile and actually laugh with each other and be like, you know what? We needed to go downstairs anyway, you know? We needed to move out of here anyway. So that's so I think part of spring is also letting go of some of that heaviness that we can end up carrying with us from the winter. So what I thought I'd do something a little bit different, because I do have my gong here this evening and a few other instruments. I thought I would do a mini little sound journey clearing, just to kind of really get that energy flying, and then we'll start the breathing. How does that sound for everybody? Yeah? Lovely.
Wonderful.
Nice. Okay, so close your eyes, get comfortable. I'll do the little sound journey. It'll probably be about 5 or 6, 7 minutes, and then we'll start the breathing.
Everyone
and what
on
we're going
mute, please. Everyone on mute.
Oh yeah, thank you, Merite. And what we'll do with the breathing is we're going to do some Wim Hof DMT-style breathing, which is the fast in and out through your nose or your mouth, whatever feels comfortable for you. And you can alternate them if that's easier, or if you have any issues breathing out of one or the other. Now, once we've done the fast breathing, we're then going to do a breath hold, and the breath hold's going to be about 1.5 minutes. If you need to breathe at any point, just take a breath in, breathe out, and then continue to hold. And then what we'll do is the pineal pull. So on the breath in, we'll breathe in and we'll pull from the base of our spine, lifting all that area, locking those lower muscles, kind of pulling them into, or imagine your belly button going into your spine, basically. That's what we want to do, and we're contracting that muscle as strongly as we can, and progressively contracting. So like the lower part of the muscle, once that's contracted, it's almost like, imagine liquids being lifted up through that contraction. We then contract the next bit, allowing that liquid to go a little bit higher, then the next bit, allowing it to go higher, and that is literally pulling up the cerebral spinal fluid. And that's using a technique which is in yoga called the bandhas, basically tightening the bandhas. But it's just tightening those lower muscles and really pulling up. And then obviously when you pull it up and you get up to kind of all the way up here, you can push it into your pineal gland, and then we'll release, let go, and we'll do another round. So we're going to be doing 2 rounds of 40 or 60 breaths. I'm not quite sure. I can't quite remember, but I've set it all up so it will be guided. And then we'll move into some humming, and the humming, we're going to hum each of our chakras, okay? And each chakra, I'm going to be sharing with you specific energetic feeling and colour to focus on. And just with all of my stuff, if it's the memory, perfect. If it's a slight second feeling, perfect. You know, we don't need to grasp for anything. Just allow what's there and just kind of be in it as fully as you can. And we'll go through all of the chakras. And then we'll relax for a bit, and we'll come back. If anyone feels like they just like to stay where they are, they can just stay there. They can turn off. That's fine. You don't have to come back at the end. So there's no expectation there. Okay. Just take a nice deep breath in. Squeeze your body a little bit. And then release. Focus on attention and anything you want to let go of. May this new season bring you new delight, new magic, new feelings of wholeness, and a vitality that radiates through your very being. So I hope that felt good for you guys. Just cleaning out that old energy. Let's get ready to breathe. Let's just do a few breaths of wind together, and then we'll go into the DMT breath so everyone's nice and prepared. Okay. Lovely. Let's just take a nice few deep breaths, and let's just do 2 or 3 clenches together. So let's just take that nice deep breath into the bottom of the belly. Find any tension. Give it a squeeze. You can cross your hands over your chest to help squeeze the tension out. Oh, any clicks and any cracks, and then just let go. Nice audible sigh. Nowhere to be, nothing to do. Let's just do another one of those. Nice deep breath in through your nose into the bottom of the belly. Find any tension, give it a squeeze, and release. Beautiful. Let's do one more of these. Really enjoy this last one. Nice deep breath in. Breathing in that nice spring energy. Find any tension. Squeeze it out. And release when you're ready. Beautiful, beautiful. So now let's just do a few rounds of the breath of wind. And for those that don't know what that might be, it's just a nice slow in-breath through your mouth, like you're breathing in through a straw. And then a nice slow breath out, again breathing out through a straw. Really slow, just going with your body. Here we go. Nice breath in through the mouth, nice and slow. And release nice and slow. Nice breath in, nice and slow. Hold at the top for a second. And nice and slow out. Make noises with your breath, modulating the sound as you go. And nice and slow releasing. Breathing all the way out. And all the way in. Hold it for a second at the top. And release nice and slow. Going to do 2 more of these, and then we're going to move on to the DMT breathing. So nice breath in, nice and slow. And breathing out nice and slow. Breathing in nice and slow. And just letting the breath go nice and slow. Beautiful. And then just allow yourself just to come back to a nice, gentle breathing pattern. We're going to be changing the tempo a little bit here. We're going to be bringing in the light, bringing that energy. So just allow yourself just to prepare. We're going to be breathing all the way into the bottom of the belly and then letting it go. Nice circular breath. Here we go. In and out. You're doing amazing. If it feels tingly, that's absolutely perfect. Allow that sensation just to increase in its intensity. Breathe into the sensation. Halfway there, you're doing amazing, keep going. All the way in and then letting it go all the way out. Keep going. Breathe out and hold your breath. Continue to hold, and if you need to breathe, breathe out, breathe in, breathe it out, and continue to hold. get ready to take a nice deep breath in, breathing in. Pour towards the pineal gland, squeeze. Really give it some energy. Push to the top of your head, feel the pressure, push against the pressure. A little bit more. And release. Just take a few nice, gentle breaths and prepare for round 2. Start the breath just after this shaker and breathing in. All the way in. There you go. You're doing amazing. Keep it going. In and out. In and out. Building that sensation of the tinglings. Just keep building the sensation with your breath. To move your body, feel free to move your body around, shake or move your shoulders to allow the energy just to course through your body. 10 left. Really enjoy them. Make the most of them. Give it everything you've got. Nice deep breath out and hold your breath. Breathe into your pineal gland. Squeeze. Pull the energy up. And release whenever you're ready. Just come back to normal breathing. Just be where you are. Do that again. Nice deep breath in all the way into the belly. Just make a nice audible R sound as you release. Let's do that again. Breathing all the way into the bottom of your belly. Lovely. Okay. So on our next out breath, we're going to start the hum. So we're just going to breathing in now. Visualize a glowing red energy at the base of your spine. Hum deeply, embodying this stability and security. Imagine this red energy grounding you, spreading a sense of safety and belonging to your surroundings as you hum. Hum all the way to the end of your breath. Focusing on that color red and that stability. Now moving up slightly in pitch, focusing on an orange light just below your navel. Feel the warmth of this orange glow, enhancing your sense of creativity and pleasure. As you hum, radiate passion and vitality outward. Feel these feelings as deeply as you can, allowing the orange energy to fill you and then expand into the world. Moving up slightly in pitch and in the location of your body, picture a bright yellow sun in your solar plexus. Hum with confidence, letting this yellow light expand. Empower yourself and those around you by deeply feeling these rays of self-assurance and inner strength as you hum, emanating the yellow energy. again in pitch and in location, envisaging a vibrant green light in the center of your chest. Softly hum, filling yourself with compassion and love. Feel these emotions as deeply as you can. Let this green light energy emanate outwards, offering healing and connection to all beings, spreading warmth and understanding. Moving up in pitch and location again, imagine a clear blue light at your throat. Hum clearly, expressing your truth and wisdom. Feel these emotions as deeply as you can, and visualize this blue energy carrying your authentic voice to the world, enhancing open and heartfelt communication and confidence to speak your truth and be proud of what you have to say. Moving up in pitch and location once more, focusing on an indigo light between your eyebrows. Raise your pitch slightly, humming to enhance intuition and insight. Just tap into the last time you can remember feeling inspired, like you'd received a great idea. Feel this emotion as deeply as you can. See this indigo energy expanding your vision, sharing clarity and insight, illuminating the path for yourself and others. and location once more. Visualize a divine white or violet light at the crown of your head. Hum at your highest pitch, feeling a connection to the universe. As you feel this, just think about the last time you felt truly connected. You felt at one with the universe, and draw that energy into your being through your humming. Emanate this light outwards, spreading peace, spiritual connection, and unity everywhere, embracing the infinite bond between you and the cosmos. Profound energies, frequencies, and intentions in this experience. With each hum resonating with each specific chakra, feeling the vibration, color, and emotional energy filling your being before radiating these qualities outward. This approach not only balances and aligns your chakras, but also shares the healing vibrations with the world around you, promoting a sense of interconnectedness and harmony. Enjoy this state of deep peace and relaxation, alignment and clarity. Before we finish this sacred sonic meditation, I'd like you just to focus this energy on just one person in your life, someone who you feel either needs your love or isn't receiving your love. Just see this person's face, see a golden halo behind their head. Just take a nice deep breath in. And as you hum, send this loving golden light energy towards them. And again. And one last time, really give them as much energy as you can. This is such a profound ancient practice that can create so many powerful transformations for you and the people in your world. So here we go, nice deep breath in. Send that golden energy on the hum. See their eyes glistening, shining, see a little smile. If it is someone who you've had difficulties with, just see them as a child. We're all children inside. We're all products of our environment. all part of the roles we play in the game of life. One last time, just seeing them smiling, see them receiving it, see them in their little child energy. Breathing a deep breath in, send that golden light energy. So many blessings, so much love, so much light. You can just rest here for a few moments, just enjoying all that beautiful sonic energy, those frequencies. And for those that want to come back and share any insights, feel free to start wandering back. And for those that want to stay where they are, feel free to do that. How's that for you, Eri?
It was really, really good. It was different than others. I was going away while the humming, going away, coming back, going away, coming back, like that. And then I saw like mountains I was like slide down and up, down and up. And while the breathing, I saw like Egyptian people and animal.
Wow.
Yeah, it was strange. But it was really, really good. Thank you, Matthew. You are such an awesome person. Such awesome.
Oh,
Thank you
you're
so much.
so welcome. Honestly, it's my pleasure.
I'm sure my friend is happy also.
Yeah, it was excellent. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
We have much more space now. So it's thank you.
Oh, that's lovely. There's nothing better than that spaciousness. How you doing, Marika? How's that for you, lovely?
It was beautiful. It was just, I don't know, it was just really in my body as well, and really enjoying pulling up the fluid into my pineal gland. And just the only thing was with the breathing, with the humming, going higher and higher. I did have to think, oh, I can't do it, because my voice is quite low, and my voice box was, I had to have a couple of drinks of water. I was going, oh. But I was managing to get higher, just in slow steps. But it was quite a cool thing to do. It was just, I didn't see so many visuals, as just feel really in my body, which was really nice for me, because I'm often away somewhere.
Lovely. Oh, that's lovely. And you know, I struggle to get to some of the high points as well, but it's something to aim for. And what, you know, one piece of advice is, when you are doing the humming, and that actual soundtrack is part of that's in the premium section as well. You know, and if you do it, one of the things is that actually, as you go higher, your humming gets less loud. You know, because if you try to hum at the same intensity when you're humming low, like it's quite loud, there's a lot of energy coming through. If you try and do that too high, you'll be like, you know, and it'll be very, you know, it's almost like it's the opposite of relaxing. So, you know, you what you actually need to do is more like, so it becomes the whole vibration and the whole kind of experience becomes almost like just your top of your mouth.
Okay.
Between your tongue and your mouth. So we're able to kind of get to those higher points without kind of going like, you know.
I felt a bit like a mosquito, you know.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. You walk outside and you've got like a new army, and they're like, yes, we're here with you now. We vibrate on your level.
Last time it was a bumblebee. This time it was a mosquito, because I was going too high.
We're moving through the insects. And Sardinia, where I am, actually has a whole history of insectoid beings that came from space and landed. And there's the oldest bronze artifact in the whole of Sardinia is actually of a like an insectoid being with two spears and a spear and a shield, and it's got 4 hands. And it's got tentacles on its head, you know. And this is like the oldest thing in Sardinia. So it's interesting that we're getting all of the insect, you know, energies coming through.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you, Marika. Anyone else like to share anything?
Thank you.
Yeah, Loki, you're in, brother.
Thank you for this. It was really sublime. I like the preparatory breathing, because that's one of the things I use in my daily practice is that breath of the wind. And then the other type, the Wim Hof, At first it was challenging. Part of me just kept wanting to get groggy and go to sleep because I didn't quite have enough sleep. So I just didn't pay that any heed. And as I lost track, I'd get into it, and then it clicked, really got into it. And at the peak, I felt my energy body vibrating, and my physical body, physical and energy, etheric, astral, all sort of bubbling, reverberating. It was really sublime. And then I experienced vast awareness going into samadhi, kind of sprinkles of samadhi energy, because it's another practice I do. It's a type of mindful meditation, is vast awareness, where the singular point is everything, and so that was happening while I was congealed in the body. So it was really interesting, like inner and outer all converging. And I've actually haven't done much of the chakra color stuff before practices. And I'm glad you had an orange flag there. It made it easier behind you to look at that. So yeah, it was quite wonderful. I focused on a cat at the end, the metta energy we were giving, and her human, and the cat hasn't been doing well, and that was really nice. Aww. And I've gone over, and it's a 2-hour journey, but I've gone over and done some energy healing to the best of my ability. So, and my spirit guides were popping in, kind of like giving their approval. So it was great. Thank you for this.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Loki. I love all the, insights, that you share, brother. Honestly, it's a real blessing to be able to, just to, hear that and reflect on seeing and experiencing the journey through your lens, like as with all of you, I just love, this is the thing, we are one, so it's like, but we all see from our own eyes, and we get to kind of, we have our own flavor, our own frequency that's just so unique and so magical. Thank you, brother. That you reminded me, the insight I had, one insight was where the blocks are in my body, my physical and energy body. Like those just became quite apparent. And I kind of intuit more how to do some healing with that. So yeah, we're all looking at it differently and sharing here through you, with you. And if you do find that there is any areas that get asked or become apparent, hey Nefeza, I think you missed it. You've just come at the end, lovely.
I know, I'm sorry. There was something else that came up, so I wasn't able to make it.
Well, you're in the nice gooey energy anyway, so lovely. If you do find the, when you're doing any of these practices that you become aware, or you get your guides telling you that, there's a specific areas of stagnant energy or stuck energy, or even if someone tells you, maybe someone says something like, oh, this specific chakra of yours is out of alignment, then, honestly, the only thing you really need to do is set the intention of what you want that to do. So if you don't know which direction, like, kind of energizing or kind of reducing the stimulation, calming, if you don't know which way to go, just feel into that area. Use the humming to kind of focus the energy into the space, and just literally command what you need it to do. So if you don't know the direction you need it to turn, you can just what I would do is I would find the kind of resonant frequency that's near it, that feels like I'm almost like, I'm like that around it. So like, find that space, really go into it, push all the energy into it, and just focus as you're making that noise on the intention of it resolving, of it coming through, of it releasing, and using our voice, using our own unique sounds that we create in our body is the most powerful way to shift energy in your body. Honestly, it really is. It's profound what a little bit of kind of sounding like a madman will do for you.
Thank you. That's very helpful, actually.
Anyone else like to say anything and share anything? Yeah, Laurie?
Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. It was from the very beginning, just having that sound bath kind of going on. Then I was just using that vibration from the sound bath to start the feelings of, vibration in the body. And then I really, like Marika said, just felt it in my body. I kind of really was grounded there. And then at the end, which was nice, is just once we got to that high level of, at the crown, and then to focus that at somebody, to remember to do that was wonderful. Just, oh yeah, I could do that, and I got somebody in mind. And that was great. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to incorporate that in my practice for sure.
Thank you, Laurie. It's a great point you bring up, actually, because, so often we will get ourselves through effort, like doing this, turning up is effort. Like, we've got to be honest about it. We're taking time out of our day. We're doing something that maybe sometimes feels uncomfortable. Like Loki said, he had to push through, but actually, when we do that, we get these gifts, these lovely gifts. My point flew away, so I'm just going to let it fly, and if it comes back, it will come back. But thank you, Laurie. That was beautiful.
Yeah, we feel so much better at the end for all the effort that we put into it. Yeah,
that's it. And like, I found this as well when I was at the. Oh yeah, that's it. We can get to these lovely spaces, and then we just walk off, But actually, like you said, when we do choose to direct our energy in a way to, especially through metta, what you find is it's effortless. It's so easy. You're not sitting there going, oh, I wonder if this will work. Oh, I don't know. I should try harder. You're just in it. You're just feeling deep
you're
compassion.
In it already.
You're not trying. It's just flowing. And I think that's really the crux of everything that I'm trying to share with people, which is get there first and then do all of your manifesting, do all of your magical stuff, do all of anything you want to do from that place. Because it's so much easier, because you're not battling against the other part of yourself that will just try and keep it all down, because you've overcome that. That's become tired and bored, and it's just gone quiet,
I think if you do it from another level, like you haven't reached that yet, then you're getting results from that level rather than, from your crown or your full of joy or happiness.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait till you get there first.
Yeah, just however you get there, that's the key. It's a shift, isn't it? It's like there's a point where you're, I don't know if you find this, but I'll be there kind of within myself. Like Loki said, it's almost like I'm here, but I'm also kind of feeling that I'm part of absolutely everything. And time feels completely different, Each moment is extended. There's a section where when it goes silent, when we do the breath, for me, I find that just helps me drop straight into this expansiveness. And from that space, it's like
anything's possible.
Anything's possible, because you're not you anymore. You're all of that. Lovely. Thank you, Laurie. That's great. Anyone else like to share anything? Yeah, Merite?
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much. Always pleasure. And that's why I was running like crazy to get it. But again, I'm always I like always to be quiet before these sessions, so I really appreciate that you had relaxing up front before we started breathing. It always helps, of course, but I was a little bit in and out of it because I was thinking about too much stuff. But again, it's not a problem. As I say, you kind of like having those moments that you get really pulled in, and then you get some images. And when you said yellow, and the snake just came at me.
Oh wow!
And but it changed because I kind of like bounced a little bit because I was just seeing colors, and then I had this amazing kind of like it was so clear. Everything is so clear these days, and in my dreams as well. It's insane because before I kind of like being in just a space around your head and your arms and kind of like this. But the other day I was standing on a boat, and there was huge boats all around, kind of like, and we were going inside boats, and I was seeing my hair front here, and I was looking for my ticket in my purse, and I kind of like see my hands and clear, and I was looking up, and I can see so far away, just endless, kind of like when you're awake. And before, kind of like having this, little, I couldn't see that far in dreams, and just having the here, you can see everything. And so this is really working in so many levels. And but today I saw most of the colors. It was colors back and forth, really intense colors, and a sun kind of like moving with a black shape, and everything was just totally white and coming and going. All it was really good. So much the things go. I can't remember everything now, but that's what I remembered.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Thank you, Merite. It's I think it's always important with these things. I know we always have to promote these events, and we all like to kind of think, oh, I'm going to get something from something, but life isn't like that. It's always like it's just to be where we are, as fully as we can. And sometimes that's being okay with, kind of like you said, it just coming and going, and and that's kind of part of it as well.
Definitely. And just for today, since I was in a hurry, blah blah blah, and for me, I'm mostly at home and don't do anything. I just have my own space, blah blah blah. But today it felt really good to be in a hurry because I was doing something. So that again, kind of like, as you said, it doesn't matter because I can always see it after, or if I can make it, and I'm just like, are you going to make it? Yes, of course. And then just driving and not looking at the time at all, and just knowing that I'm going to be
lovely.
there. Yeah, and I love that feeling, kind of like being different. And my mom was texting me, and I was thinking of her story, and I had to drive, and it was pouring rain outside, and it's crazy blowing, and then kind of like feeling I need to get home to do, but then again, nobody was at home and arguing or anything. I could just go and do this, and that was kind of like the pleasure of being out there, coming home and just be me in this bubble that I wanted to. So I really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you, Merite. That's lovely. Yeah, aho to that. How is it for you, David? How's it for you, brother?
This bore some resemblance to what I've done with the conscious presence breath, but it was more intense. I had more of the physical symptoms with the tingling, the vibrations, and even some of the cramps. At the point where we got to the throat, that's the last thing I remember until I heard you calling us back. And I know I was seeing something, so I was getting visuals. It was a journey to somewhere.
Nice.
I don't remember at this point what it was, but it really felt like it went way out.
Yeah, it sounds like you got taken, which is always quite a nice experience anyway.
Definitely. Taken or melted away, something.
Yeah.
Because I remember hearing the part of go to the throat and do the humming, and then I heard your voice calling us back, and I saw the last of the visuals fade out. They're like, what happened? I did something.
That's it. The next question is, how do you feel?
Fantastic. I wish I could wake up feeling like this every morning.
That's it. For me, it's always about the feelings, I do get some visuals sometimes, but it's that magical feeling that I love so much when doing all these breaths. It's that electricity that's going through the spine. It's that vitality that just is, like you said, like, oh God, could I wake up feeling this good every day? Because it's refreshing. So there's one of the concepts that I've been working with is called the cascade effect, and the idea is that by doing this type of work, by essentially jumping into the deep end, we can spend 20 years meditating on our breath, and it's a beautiful practice. There's certainly nothing wrong with that. But for most people, their lives are quite difficult. And my understanding and what I found works for me is that I need to match, at least by minimum, match the intensity of my life with my practice. My practice needs to overwhelm the intensity of my life. And that's where breath comes in, because as you've seen, you can knock yourself out. You can literally go from sitting in a room kind of expecting to go from A to B to C to D, and suddenly B, C, D, E, F, G have disappeared. And how did that happen? All I was doing was breathing, and then you wake up and you feel different. And that feeling is what the cascade effect is. That is the effect of it. Because what you're now feeling is this, it's like you've dipped your head in God consciousness, in universal consciousness, in source consciousness, in unity consciousness. And that unity consciousness is beyond everything. So all of the little concepts of self, the limiting beliefs of who I think I am, and all this stuff, that doesn't exist anymore, and it gets replaced by this beautiful nectar of vitality that we can't even put words to it. We don't even know what it is, how it got there. It's just within us, and all we need to do I like the idea of almost imagine you're walking underneath a waterfall. And what happens when the water hits your head is it first hits the head, but then it starts to seep down into the rest of your body. And that's how I see this whole work, is that we start here through direct experience, putting our head into the cold water, feeling that, whoa, fucking hell, that's a bit intense, isn't it? Wow, what's going on there? Shit, fuck, wow. And then it starts to go through our whole being, and we feel that throughout our whole body. So next time we're standing at the shopping, about to pay for our shopping, we just see the light come through the glass. It hits our eye, and we realize that the person in front of us is God. That's source right there on the checkout. Looking you right in your eyes. And we just have that moment where we realize, and that's the cascade effect. Because the more we do this, the less exists that contradicts the truth. and we can only really know truth. We can't talk. I can't tell you truth. You know, I can tell you information. Even if you were to accept the information, you don't know it. It's not within you. You haven't felt it. But when you finally have a direct experience of something, then you know it. You're a holder of that energy because you've literally felt it. You've felt the vibration, you know? Then you become that vibration. So this is not disconnected work. This all builds on top of itself, just continually. And I think that's interesting with what Merite was saying, you know, she's seen her dreams and her dream work in general just totally explode. I mean, if anyone reads any of her reports, I mean, they're incredible. And, you know, and that's because we're cleaning out. If I was teaching it from a yogic perspective, I'd be talking about the nadis essentially, because humming is one of the most powerful ways to clean your whole energetic system essentially, and that's you know, bumblebee breath, humming. Yeah. So you know, so even though these practices seem like, oh, it's just humming, it's so simple, actually it's doing so many things on like energetic levels through the yogic understanding, through the so you've got Ida and Pingali. They're the two kind of starting points of your energetic system, and they exist at the base of your spine. And what happens, you can essentially see that as like masculine, feminine energy. They coil like this. And as they go up your spine into your pineal gland. And that's the whole system. So our nervous system is integrally part of that. And we've got scientific studies throughout my work, which shows humming and omming specifically can have a 25% 25% increase in lung function within 14 days of doing each of them for 5 minutes every single day. Now, that's huge. That means just humming and omming for 10 minutes a day creates physical changes in your body, in your lungs. You know? So that's what it's doing on the physical level. Now, just imagine what that's doing to your kind of spiritual, energetic body. It's all of the blockages, all of that stuff. It will start to move it all. So one thing I will say before I be quiet is that, you know, don't be worried if you ever do one of these sessions. It's been super powerful. You're like, wow, I felt incredible. It was amazing. And then a few days later, something comes up and it's not so easy to feel good about it. Okay. That's an opportunity. That's the work working, because until it's come through you, it's still within you. And for you to get it out, you have to actually witness it. So the more work you do like this, the more of those things will come up and present themselves to you. Sometimes it will be like I had, where it's like, you know, real life world issues. Other times it may be, you know, maybe a dream, or it could be, you know, it could be, it could just be a feeling, you know, it could just be a feeling, it could be like a fatigue that comes up. So these are all things, you know, which the most powerful thing we can do when they come up is to just go, I recognize what this is. This is it working. And if you look at Joe Dispenza's work, he'll say exactly the same thing. So, you know, it's always good to just to keep that kind of that little eye out, to realize that if anything does come up, that that's actually good, you know, it's working for you. And then you'll feel lighter afterwards. And that's the truth. You know, how do we get to enlightenment? We lighten the fuck up. you know, and seriousness and all of that. That is, it's a sickness. It really is. So whatever comes up, I always try and reframe it quite quickly, and reframing is definitely one of my tools that I use all the time. Does anyone have any questions before we go? Anything anyone would like to say?
How long was when we did the final exhale after the Wim Hof and then held it? Because I was able to do that well. I was just wondering how long that time was.
I'll check and I'll send you a message, because I made this session some time ago. But it's at least a minute and a half. But the last one...
Wow.
Yeah, the last one, it was longer, because actually I was so in it that I forgot to look at the screen and tell you guys to breathe, do the pull again. So when I opened my eyes, we should have been halfway through the pull by that point. So actually, if you were able to hold it until I spoke on the last one, you did really well, because it was. I
felt the same actually. So yeah, that was cool. You mentioned that, Loki, because I was just like, when are we going to breathe? But I'm like going back again and just being, at that point, I don't need to breathe anymore, and then kind of like being in that spot.
So then, when we inhale. I'm trying to remember the instruction to then hold it as well as pull up, do the pulling up to the pineal while holding the breath, and then exhaling, also pulling up.
So just inhaling, pull up, clamping, squeezing, pushing. Okay. And then once you get to a place that you're about to pass out, or you're having some sort of effect, or until I say release, then you release. For some people, you might end up doing that, and I've been in places like this where if I do that strongly, I'm out. I'm having a Kundalini awakening, and it's going to be too much. I'm not going to be able to speak to anyone for an hour. So it's like everyone's slightly different. For some people, they really need to push because they're quite blocked, and they can't even and I have this myself at points. I can't even feel it up here. That I'll be pushing and it will be stuck like there or here, and then there's other times I'll do it and it's like, my God, there is no blockages and it's going straight to the top, and it's very, I don't even have to pull even very hard before I can feel just everything going ding,
And I want to say as well, because when you're pushing up, and remember to take your tongue off your tip of the tongue. Yeah, that helps a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
The top of your mouth.
Yeah.
Put the tongue at the top of the mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That helps.
I do that. I tend to do that without thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Many people do, and it just, when the energy goes up, it just basically connects the back to the front. The tongue does. So then the energy can kind of come back down and kind of recycle. There's a lot more on the Kundalini side that you can get into. Obviously, there's Kundalini yoga, so there's a whole process around that. I don't know. My preference is non-duality combined with direct experiences. So that's what I've found to be effective. I find that if I get too anal about anything, and I see this in a lot of people, that they actually end up missing what really is important. It becomes like a academic process about trying to get to a master level or something like that, or like getting a certificate out of it. We all like to kind of feel recognized, and we also like to have from A to B to C. But life isn't A, B, C. Life is completely non-linear. At any moment, anything can happen. So for me, I take a much more tantric approach, which is fuck all the counting, stop counting your breaths, feel your breaths. And if it doesn't feel right, make it feel right. It's just you in there. Cut the bullshit, you know? It's just you. You're in there. You get to choose. You've got the breath. It's a tool. It helps you get over yourself, basically, you know? So it's like, that's what I've found to be helpful. I certainly do not have all the answers, but you know, this is what I've found so far, and I like to share it with people. Beautiful beings, bless you all. What a journey, eh?
Indeed. Thank you, Matthew.
Oh, you're welcome, brother. Right then, beautiful people. I'm going to go and make some food. Let this be the start of something magical. Tomorrow morning, as you wake up, I'd like you all, the first thing you say to yourself or to the universe is, show me the magic. Okay? This singular practice has changed people's lives. I have a friend who was living in a caravan in a bush in London, on a beautiful, farm, but he was still in a caravan living in a bush. Okay, and we had some great fires, and his name's Pavel, and he looks like a Viking, you know, so he fitted the environment, and he's a beautiful guy, and he made the best of it. And we'd had to have these like big open fires, 50 people, live musicians. It was beautiful. However, when we were having one of these fires, I said to him, look, brother, I tell you, one of the most powerful things I've ever done is actually tapping into the energy of the first thing that you, the first few moments as you're waking, as you're rousing, because you're actually in between spaces, and when you're connected to the kind of quantum field in that way, we can actually influence it in much more powerful ways than when we're kind of fully in our body. So he said, okay, Matt, look, don't tell me all this stuff. You know, I'm not really interested in any belief systems or anything like that. Don't give me any of that. Just tell me what to do. And I was like, okay, look, brother, it's really simple. When you wake up, just say, show me the magic. Now, since I told him that, he now lives in a manor house. It's only an apartment, but it is in a manor house with a lake. That's part of a bigger royal manor, right? He's allowed to have fires there, so we can still go and enjoy it. It's got like this 400-year-old oak tree, and he said his life's never been better. So and he said the only thing that he changed was just saying, "Show me the magic." So, you know, and obviously we're saying it, but we're feeling it. You know, that's the real recipe. Is it's the feeling. You know, how does it feel to really address the universe in a way that's like, hey, yeah, show me the magic. Like surprise me today. You know, wow. And that's where we begin each day if we can. Right, beautiful beings. Until next month.
Hail and farewell.
Yes, much peace. If you want more stuff, there's the what's it called? The Temple of Selves Premium. So feel free to check that out. There's lots of content in there, many meditations and different things as well. So much love, peace and blessings to you all. Let this be the start of something magical.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao, guys.
Show me the magic. I got
Show me the magic, motherfucker.
Show me the magic.
Love it. Ciao, ciao. Nice seeing the phaser at the end there. Sorry we didn't see you earlier.
It's okay. Yeah, I guess I'll have to catch up on the recording.
Yeah, are you okay? You all good?
One question for you: the Temple of Selves, when you actually log in to the Zoom, and we were waiting, and it's like a 4-minute video. Was that?
Oh yeah.
Did you have it like that before?
I started that on New Year's Eve.
Oh, I thought that I remember seeing it, but it was just a picture. I don't remember fully that it was music and all that stuff. So
did you hear the music of it?
Yeah, and it was like everything was just amazing. I was just like, wow, I love this. Why didn't I realize it before? I thought it was just a picture.
Yeah, I made that for New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I don't know. I do remember someone talking about it, but I thought they were just talking. I think it was Loki was just talking about the picture, and I was just like, yeah, the picture was good. But then I didn't realize that there was more to it with the video and the and the
it's
music.
Really
too.
Nice.
So it was just like, yeah, it was really good.
I thought if that
That's teaching in itself. Just
right. I was just sitting there and like allowing it in, and it's just like it was so good.
I thought to myself, we're missing a trick here. People are waiting. There should be something here. Right. There should be something kind of informing the space or kind of bringing in some concept of what we're doing here. And I thought, really, if we could anchor it in a kind of like an ethos or like like where are we aiming for? And it's like we're aiming for light. We are that light,
Yeah,
and
because
we get to.
The whole selves thing, it just rings so true. And I'm learning a different course right now where he's adding in with the matrix and with the selves, because of the agents. It's like so good.
Layer goes upon together layer. Well with astral travel. It also goes well with astral travel and multidimensional awareness from that.
Yeah, just like our multidimensional.
It's all weaving
selves.
together.
So many people talking about it, understanding the whole multidimensional selves. Yeah, it was really good.
But it's like at the highest level, we have to go into light. There's nothing else there. There's like we either have void, which is what the Buddhists talk about, but it's not really translated correctly because it's not a void. Void in our language means without things, and it is meant to mean like no thing, but it doesn't mean nothing, you see, because nothing can't actually exist. It's like an oxymoron. It makes no sense. You can't have something that isn't something,
Right.
So it means, so for me, when I try and relate to that spaciousness or that specific like unification of all things, light is the most obvious way of understanding it, and we can see that through a prism. We have white light, we put it through a crystal, and boom, it's separated into all the colors of the rainbow. The chakra system.
Take on the whole, we're becoming, or we are a light being, and we're becoming a light being, and the 12-stranded DNA thing. Have you heard of that?
I have heard of that. I'm not sure of any of those, of that thing. I've not had the experience of that. I have had the experience of becoming light, that I know that at the core of my being. I felt the light kind of, absorb me, and it was like the best feeling ever, and then I had an astral projection experience where the light just kind of, I just met like source as the light, and it was just
everywhere.
It was just so beautiful, it's like a mother's love or something. It's that sort of your home. So for me, light feels very and it's all around us. I think we should be able to test our spirituality. Our spirituality can't be so abstract that we can't share it with a 10-year-old. you know. We've got to find, you know, because if we can't do that, then what hope is there, you know? Where that's where the breath is so great, because it's like I don't have to explain it. If someone just does the breath, you know, it's like you can do the 3 breaths, the humming, the sighing, and the breath of wind. I've had people do that, and they've told me that that's taken them to the most like out there experience they've ever had. And it's like it's a 15-minute breath, you know. Yeah. It's a 15-minute breath, doing not even intense breath work. It's not Wim Hof. These are some of the most gentle breaths you can do, right? You know. So it's
but you
like,
would call that a Kundalini awakening, right?
No, not through. No, not. It depends. You know, Kundalini awakening is where the Kundalini comes up your spine, and you will know about it. You know. So
what about? Is Kundalini awakening like the same thing as Christ consciousness?
I think basically.
Just people are explaining it differently. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at even the Bible and things that Christ says, there's a whole theory that looks at Kundalini as Christ's journey from like Bethlehem being kind of like the you know, like the root, and then like I can't remember where it ends, you know, somewhere else as the crown, and all the different characters kind of line up to a certain degree, but it, you know, from my understanding of who Christ was a yogi basically. By the end of it, he was an Essene first off, which is like a kind of Christian mystic. But then he actually traveled India, and there's whole temples dedicated to the fact that Christ was there, you know. Why would they do that? They'd have no reason to talk about this other kind of religious figure within an environment of Buddhism and Hinduism, and maybe parts of Islam as well, you know. So there's no real advantage to it. Other than you can just look at it and be like, okay, it just seems to be kind of historical fact. So if Christ did do all of those things and basically learn, you know, yoga and the yogic understanding on top of his probably already profound kind of understanding of things through like the Gnostic type stuff, you know, it all starts to make sense. Like if you can look at gurus like Maharaji through Ram Dass, he's got a book called 1,000 Miracles, and in that book he talks about, you know, money appearing from places. You know, like in the book there's a story where some police officers go to this town because there's this yogi, like this guru basically, who is paying everybody and the whole town is being run on this guru's payments. And the police are like, because the police are local, they're kind of in it for a while, but then someone from the outside is like, but where's the money coming from? And, you know, like this could be like, they could just be printing it. Like, you know, that's probably what's happening. There's a guru printing money. Like, this has got to stop. So they go and investigate. And what they'd always say is, after you've been at work, walk back home and it will be behind the rocks. And that's where all the people are getting their payment from, like behind rocks and things. It was completely bonkers. And so they asked, the policeman came to see the guru, and he said, like, okay, look, you need to show us where this money's coming from, because, like, you know, like, this is money laundering or something. Something's not right. And the guru's like, are you sure you want to see it? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. So he said, well, come into the jungle with me. So he walks into this foresty jungle area, and he's walking up to this lake. And the guys are like, what are we doing here? There's nothing here. And he's like, you want to see where the money comes from, don't you? And he said, yes. Show us. And he points a crocodile calls the crocodile over. The crocodile opens its mouth, and there's money inside the crocodile's mouth.
The guy can appear it anywhere.
You know, and the coppers were just like, "Oof, this is too much." You know, what do you do with that? So this idea of kind of like Christ consciousness, Christ obviously having powers or kind of siddhis as they're seen in the yogic texts. Actually, when you fit it in a larger context of the yogic understanding, Christ makes a lot of sense. A lot of things that he was doing actually add up to some degree, you know, but it does require that kind of larger context of a non, what do they call it? You know, a religion that kind of contains multiple lives, basically, is essential to understand what's really going on, you know?
That makes sense.
How's that for a little bedtime story?
Yeah, good.
That's a good
Not
one.
really bedtime, but yeah.
Yeah, you just look so cozy.
I know, right? Have you? Can I ask one more question? What about like have you experienced some past lives, and like how do they end up showing up to you if you have? Like, has it been because of something that or?
So I've had a few experiences with past lives. One experience was completely spontaneous. I was just sitting on the couch in my garage, literally mid-conversation, and I find myself on a battlefield with a sword, with lots of dead people around me, and a kind of feeling of kind of like I'm really glad that I've got this far, but like I ultimately felt like I'd lost because of what I was actually witnessing. And that was odd because I've always had this feeling of like how I'd quite like to be a sword, like I'd quite like to like be a knight or have a sword and sword fights, but I don't own any swords and I'm a pacifist, so it doesn't really add up. But there's this kind of deep feeling inside that's like, yeah, fuck yeah, at the same time. So that was one experience.
And you weren't on anything?
I wasn't on anything. I was on a couch, you know?
And then you're just like, where'd this come from? And then
I literally come back into my body. When I get back in my body, I'm like this. Oh my god, Bab. Oh my god, I was on the battlefield. Like, what the oh my god, what the fuck? You know, it was quite overwhelming in all honesty.
Just in a conversation and then just like you're out.
You know, so that was the first kind of like that spontaneous one, but the most powerful one, and there's probably a few more in there, but the most powerful one I think is most interesting was it was New Year's Eve, and my friend Bear owned the world's largest symphonic gong. Okay, and we also had another friend who had a swimming pool, like an indoor swimming pool type situation. So we were like gong, swimming pool, you know, lay down on some things, get a gong bath inside a pool, great times. Take some LSD, well, hey, even better. So that was the plan, and I took like 6 doses because I thought that would be fun. I was a lot more kind of gun-ho back then. Yeah. And I know. I was mad. And I don't do anything like that really anymore. Like, I do have journeys still, but I just don't need them. You know, I don't feel like I need it. Whereas in the past, it was like I needed it. I needed it so bad. I was in so much pain.
You can kind of co-create the feeling now, no?
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
You doing it so many times?
Yeah, I live from that place. That's where I live from. You know, I try to.
It changes you, eh?
It does. You'll never go back. I'll never be the same again. I know, thank God.
Yeah, that happened with me. It was probably a double dose of LSD when I was about 19, but I'll never forget it. I'm, like it's so long ago, but it's not because, it's like
just feels like it was yesterday.
Yeah, well, it was so life changing because it opens your eyes, or opens whatever it opens. It opens it.
Classic cascade effect, you know.
Yeah.
This is it. You know, once you've got to that level, it's like you can't undo that. I think there's been a lot of talk for. No, you don't want to. There's a lot of talk. People go, you know, especially in the spiritual scene, and I'm very, you know, that's why I'm very open to talk about it. Is that a lot of people, they will actually say things like, you know, it's just, you know, when you come down, you know, it's different. That's total bollocks. It's total bollocks. You know, that's like saying to someone,
depend what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
But ultimately, it's like saying to someone, have you ever tried prawn cocktail flavored crisps? Well, if you have, you know exactly what they taste like. You're never going to forget what they taste like, are you? It's like just eating them has changed you forever.
Yeah.
You literally cannot be the same person. It's impossible. You know, and if a pack of crisps can do that to you, just think what LSD is doing. You know, so I was like I said, so I was on some LSD, and my friend said to me, like, we'd had the main gong bath and it was quite cool, but in all honesty, it was a bit faddy. You know, being wet and then trying to relax, and then getting cold and all of that. It wasn't easy to actually kind of get into it. But the night started to flow, and my friend said to me, Matt, would you like to sit behind the gong and I will just go at it? And I was like, oh my God, yes. You know, fucking take me with you. Let's have it. So I basically sat behind the gong. The whole thing covered my whole body, and he played. And as he played, it was absolutely incredible. What would happen is we started playing it together. So me and him and the gong merged as one being. So I was now playing the gong with him. But then there was points, because obviously he's like a master gong player. I mean, he's traveled this gong the whole way around the earth, you know, and he was my first spiritual teachers. And, you know, so his energy would come through much stronger than mine, because obviously he is the one playing the gong. But I was like, I'd have these moments where I was like, oh, we're one, I'm here with him, oh, it's so amazing. And then he'd go like this, and as it hit me, I'd literally see all of my past lives shattering either side of me. Like that would be 1,000 lives, that would be 1,000 lives, and each one of them I experienced like a single frame photo. So like that, you know, but it's all instantaneous. So for me, as he went, I felt all of the pain, all of the shame, all of the overwhelmment, all of those feelings from each of those lives, all of the things that I hadn't let go of, that couldn't understand at that point in consciousness. And then and I'll just sit there completely broken, you know, completely shattered. Who am I? You know, who am I? Like, am I this person, that person, this person? Who's Matt? You know. And then he'd start up again, and I'd get confident again. I'd be like, oh no, it's okay. Oh, I'm the sound. Yeah, I'm here with Bear. We're playing the gong. Wow. And this just went on for like 30 minutes to an hour or something.
Wow.
Completely destroyed my every bit of me, you know. So that was my experiences of seeing, experiencing, and letting go of past lives, you know.
Interesting. Any of you guys have any?
Yes.
Yeah.
You just reminded me of how I think past life information is running in the background all the time, and we often get little glimpses of other lives, bleed throughs back to when it's happening. You're the now when it's happening then. But I'm riding on a bus. This is in San Francisco, and I'm in the pagan tradition. And I'm getting ready in my mind. I'm rehearsing. We're going to have, with my group of friends and my priestess, a full moon ceremony, right? So I start falling asleep, drifting into the hypnagogic, sitting on a warm bus, driving through San Francisco, knowing I'm going to go home to prepare for the full moon ceremony that night. And then suddenly, about 70% of my consciousness is I'm in this body in a desert doing like male, and I think it's Middle Eastern. And whoever I was then was doing a full moon practice of gazing at the moon, going into deep trance, opening up outside of this life. And we were bleeding through. I was him. I've also had female lives too, memories. And it was so incredible, because it was the bleed through resonance of we were doing the same thing. I was getting ready in this life to be with my friend Galen, and she and I and our coven members were going to do a ceremony. And then there I was also as some kind of ascetic in a desert. I don't know how long ago, but it felt like a long time ago.
And you weren't on anything either when you were.
No, it was just,
very interesting.
I was like sort of half awake, half asleep, with my head against the window that was warm, the warm sun, one of those few warm sunny days in San Francisco. So, but I also, in the 90s, I was very ill and almost died. And I had a couple of Vicodin, the first in my life, and part of me left my body. I went to this, it was like what you described. I was in this celestial temple in an infinite blue sky, and the source, who I perceive as the Divine Mother, suddenly showed me all of my lives all around me. It was like that. A curtain rose. It was like fast forward with everything that happened in that life. It was too much for me to remember. I just know it happened. I remember a little bit. And it was like, it was a blessing. I was gifted this, that out of that illness, I was shown the totality of all my lifetimes. Well, I guess my humanoid ones. But in any case, it was really neat. So eventually I got better and lived. But I came back to my body and I wrote it all down. But yeah.
Thanks for your information. I think my other half is going through some stuff right now where that's coming online for him, and that same has happened for my sister, but I'm very clueless about it. So I'm just like, part of me doesn't want to judge, but then I'm like, are you crazy at the same time? So it's just like, okay, I'm listening, I'm holding space, just try to understand what's going on. So I'm like, look, I need to hear more stories so that I could be like, oh, okay, yeah,
I think we've had a lot of lives where we were just toiling away. My earliest memory, visual ones, were in high school, working in a rice field, just long hours of doing that. So it's not wasted. It's just lots of lifetimes of hard work.
Time was slower back then. If you think about the pace of information in the past, for you to learn a new concept would have taken, it would have been quite rare even to learn new concepts, because unless it was in your environment, you weren't getting new content from everywhere in the world sent into your little mobile phone at 1,000 miles an hour, whereas now...
And it might depend how far back you go in the past.
Yeah.
Because
ancient
civilizations, and they knew stuff we don't have a clue about.
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry to
No,
interrupt.
No, you're right. I'm definitely referring to kind of a non-ancient, but more kind of like, for example, my mother-in-law, who she was 87 when she passed. In Ireland when she was growing up, there were no new books coming into her little village. If they weren't part of the church and no one else had them, they didn't exist. Ideas that, I don't know, just new thoughts, new ideas, new music, new concepts. They were very slow. Whereas now,
Yeah.
within 10 seconds, you can experience Japanese K-pop, you can experience, Brooklyn rap, you can experience thrash metal from somewhere else, and then the most gentlest meditational, celestial voice from Tibet, I don't know, all within a blink of an eye. So
yeah, I think my grandmother did the rice field thing.
Yeah.
Like my dad's mom this time round, right? So, and she got cut with a cutlass, they call it, like a big knife or something like that. But yeah, it was just like interesting, very interesting.
So the bane of this age is that it can be too much. We have to learn how to be selective in what we filter through and what we pay attention to. At least for me. Going down the YouTube or the Instagram rabbit hole, and suddenly it's 4 a.m. It's like, oh
yeah.
There's an app called Stay Free. I highly recommend it. You can put it on your phone, and then you can set yourself safe limits that you actually want to adhere to, because it's a drug and we're all addicted. So, obviously no judgment. First of all, do whatever you want to do. However, if you do find yourself thinking, I don't really want to spend 4 hours on Facebook, or I don't, I really, I think an hour probably a day is probably enough, and even that's probably too much. But, just think about some safe, realistic time frames, and then just work, like literally you just put it into the app, and then you can even do stuff like so for me, mornings are really sacred, they should be. This is the foundation of our day, but it's so easy to go on these things in the morning, and what we end up doing is we end up activating a seeking energy. We're seeking a dopamine hit. For most of us, it will be probably a negative feeling, maybe we're looking at the difficulties in the world, looking for someone who represents our view to be standing against all the corruption or something like that, and those energies are coming from us in that moment, you see. So, and I know this because this is what happens to me.
Start off with cat videos.
Yeah, that's it. Start with exactly, if you can, get specific. My feed's been politicized because there's a lot going on in the world, and I'm still attached to the idea of thinking that somehow my viewing of it and then sharing or interacting with it somehow is changing it. I've had different views at different points.
I have a problem with that, because my problem with that is growing up from one culture in a country that didn't even understand anything about it, because my family being refugees from Ukraine, and nobody in New Zealand had any idea even that Ukraine was a country until the recent Russian invasion. Nobody had any idea. So I was kind of always invisible, and no one had a clue. And whatever I felt, it didn't register with anybody. It was really quite hard. And it was different probably if being in the States or Canada or in Australia with Ukrainian refugees, because there were more of them. There were very few in those days here. And that was probably why I developed this thing. My family were junkies for watching the news at 6 p.m. every night. And everyone was political because we grew up living and breathing, understanding how politics affects your life, your physical life. But now with my spiritual stuff, but it was always important to me to be validated. So to be seen, for people to witness. And I feel a need to witness what the horrible things going on, but I also don't want to, because I want to be in a good space. So I know what you mean. And I find that quite a issue that is kind of ongoing. So I've got more used to balancing it, doing a little bit of it, then going, okay, no more of the rabbit hole, got to switch it out, and then going off to do something that is good for me. But it's a hard one.
It's a
But
toughie,
I
isn't
don't
it?
want to that's it's
it's beautiful. Beautiful what you brought to us, Marika. You know, this is it. This is connection, isn't it? You know, this is being seen and seeing each other. You know, Like
you raise a good point.
You know,
you raise a good point about balance. So
finding that balance. You know, in the past, I've found myself underneath, you know, buses to try and protect, you know, refugees and things. You know, I've found myself wanting and dreaming of ways to hurt police officers. You know, because of the oppressive, authoritarian, and downright unfair treatment of people who have the least. And I think it's
they're running from countries, and then they're calling them the asylum seekers, they're calling them rule breakers or queue jumpers, and that they deserve to die, and it's a crime to rescue them when they're drowning in the Mediterranean.
It's awful. It's dehumanizing.
ICE is going to schools and taking little children out. And I feel this feeling that because of the recognition of the pain and suffering of all that, but then I think, did we come here for this? Because you're supposedly signing up for stuff, but I don't know what I think sometimes, but I've had things of my past lives, and there's been quite a few where I've been like killed for just being the wrong ethnic group or the wrong whatever, and you know, and so I've had dreams and I've had a waking, one where I was awake and I went somewhere and I saw myself in a place. So, and I've done one QHHT session, if anyone knows Dolores Cannon, and
great
stuff.
It's
amazing, and amazing ET lives all over the place, and incredible things.
Ooh, I've got to hear all your stories.
Just changed everything about how I saw myself. It was like, whoa. So, like, I know that it's not just about that horrible stuff, but that horrible stuff also makes or breaks us in a way. Like that guy Viktor Frankl, who wrote that book about being in the concentration camps that I haven't read, but I've downloaded, and I can talk about him. I finally remember his name, so I can probably find it on my Kindle app amongst the thousands of books. And it was about how if your life has meaning, if you have meaning, no matter what's happening around you, so whatever it is, but it's like those things are what you come here to sort out. You're reborn to sort out, in particular lives or whatever. But this current world and the cruelty and the savagery of like every side, and the crazies in control, something has to change. So we have to do something, but we kind of have to know what we have to do.
I was going to ask you about that, Matt, because you're in UK, right? And they've got.
I'm in Italy I'm in Sardinia at the moment.
Oh, but before, when you're in UK, they're enforcing the digital ID on you guys or something like that.
They try to, but F1's rejecting it basically at a level of, you know, like, I don't know. I certainly haven't looked into it, and I certainly am not going to be downloading any of that shit. If we can avoid it. So, you know,
if they're coming to you, you have to end up being you're your own authority and speak up, right? And so it's just like wondering, did you have to do that? I was wondering.
I've not done. Now it's interesting because in Italy, they already have a digital ID.
Oh.
And I, when we moved here, there was no option. It was just like, you've got to have this ID. You have to. In Italy, it's actually quite bizarre.
Digital ID.
Yeah. And if, for example, I want to buy stuff on a lot of websites, you actually have to put your tax code in to the website to buy it in Italy. So when you first set up an Amazon account in Italy, you have to put your tax code in. So, it's kind of like, but then equally, Italy is it's got its own thing going on. It's not, there seems to be about 17 different ID cards that you can get.
Wow. So, God.
It's almost like, as much as efficient as these systems might believe they might try to get, and how intense and scary they might become, you've still got the natural kind of like inefficiencies of just being human, and that extrapolated onto a country is huge. They've been trying to unify their ID or their kind of, and I understand from one perspective, like, you want to deal with your council tax, your rubbish payments or whatever, all in one place, one number, happy days, makes sense. It's all the other stuff that comes with that, obviously the tracking and other things. And the UK government, that's where they're really at. They're trying to kind of jump in on that front. The UK government as it stands is a coup. And I really mean that. It's been taken over. The Labour Party was essentially established through unions, and obviously the union concept is a really healthy of societal strengthener. When we have unions, people have rights. We got the union thing came out of industrial revolution because obviously after people realized they could turn people into like machines, they treated them like machines, and very quickly we realized it's not sustainable. You end up creating really bad health issues. Everything just goes to shit. It's not a good environment to live in. So the unions came together and the Labour Party was formed, and for a long time it really genuinely represented the kind of core British value of like trying to look after everybody all together. Like, we've always had an NHS, and the social care system, and under about 20 years ago, under Labour, it was all about early starts. So it was all about how we make children's education better, putting money into things that support kids with food and all these things. So it was a powerful, beautiful thing. But what happened was when Keir Starmer, our current MP, when he got into power, what he did is he actually created a whole smear campaign against Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn is about 70 or something, and he has been pushing socialism and voting on, as an MP, on the most important things. We're talking about the water system. We're talking about the 2-child cap benefit. We're talking about, do we go to war or not? Should we have a new voting system that actually represents a vote for a vote instead of what we've got right now? So he's been on that side, and he was going to become the new MP. He was the most popular MP ever in the UK. And what did Keir Starmer and something McSweeney do? They literally, and it's actually in the Epstein files, they talk about it. So it's all there, and there's a whole book that's come out based on this. It's not just, conspiracy theory. There's actually documents that back all this up, and funding and everything. And it was a takeover by the Friends of Israel, basically. So the Friends of Israel are a
They seem to be everywhere.
Yeah, they're an Israeli political pressure group, and something like basically over half of Labour now are part of that group. That's worrying. And
because we've seen that how the protesting about Gaza and what's been going on, and in the UK it's illegal.
They've been putting old women in prison for holding a placard. You know, it really got quite intense. Now, thankfully, we still have a jury system, and they're trying to get rid of that at the moment. They're literally trying to get rid of the jury.
Really?
They're pushing it, trying to push it through at the moment. So if you were a protester, you won't be seen by a jury. You'll just go straight to a judge.
Because a jury's not going to convict an old woman and send her to 7 years in prison or 14 or whatever that sentence is.
Exactly.
Wow.
You know, but good news for kind of holding up the law. You know, kind of the old law, which was that actually it was called the Fenton Six, I think they were called. And these were the people who basically, it was like they were the catalyst that started a lot of what was happening. They sprayed an aircraft, basically. You know, not even, the damage was minimal in all honesty. And they decided to convict them as terrorists. They put it through as a motion very cleverly. This is the new Labour government. This is how they operate. They put Corbyn as an anti-Semite, which basically meant that he got ousted, which then meant Keir Starmer could come in. So he then took over. He then ousted all the left-wing, centre, environmental, social care, NHS.
No wonder everyone hates Starmer.
Yeah, and the whole of the Labour Party, if you supported Corbyn, basically, you were no longer allowed to be in the Labour Party, and it was a full coup to push him out. And that's basically what we're working with at the moment. You know, obviously in America,
New Zealand's pretty bad too.
Right. There's reverberations of this in the Trump administration, what you're describing.
Yeah, well, I think it's all being coordinated in a very...
It has been coordinated. We've got Peter Thiel, that prick is living in New Zealand, and he's got huge power, and they broke all the laws to make him a citizen after he'd only been here for 4 days.
Yeah, big money speaks, you know.
Yeah, he's one of the highest out of the criminals from the States.
Yeah.
Like he's all through the Epstein files, and
I have to get going. I'm glad we could chat, but I have to be somewhere in a bit, so.
Lovely seeing you, Loki, brother.
Yeah. Hail and farewell, kindred spirits.
Yes. Yeah. Good to see you, Loki.
Yeah.
Good to see you also, Marika and Nafisa and David. And Nafisa, your past lives are knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Or as one spiritual teacher says, not past lives, other lives.
It's happening right now, right?
It's happening right now, in there now. So they're knocking on the door for you.
And all the
farewell,
different
everyone.
dimensions, universes, whatever.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Love you, brother.
Bye-bye.
So I think, you know, just to kind of round this kind of conversation off, because I think it's good to frame things.
Didn't mean to turn it to politics, but
Marika, you know what?
Yeah,
you're literally a channel pulling it out of the ether. You know, I'm glad you brought this up. This is in my world. You know, it's easy not to talk about this stuff. It's more difficult to talk about it and then find our place within it. But that's what we've got to do. The world is never going to be fucking easy. You know, the earth, we don't, like, think about it. We land in our life crying, right? The just getting out of the birth chamber is one of the most traumatic experiences that most spirits will go through, you know. You're going from a warm, lovely place to bright lights, people manhandling you, all sorts of craziness going on. You're not, that's it. You know, it's all being taken away from your mum. It's brutal, you know. So life's always going to be hard.
Really dense energy and the whole bloody lot. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, this is a dense playground, but we must remember that we are playing a game.
Yeah.
And I think that's, you know, it's not easy, and it's not certainly not to
No.
put anyone's trauma or pain and suffering, which is there's vast amounts of it. We're not trying to diminish that, but it's also to think, like you said, when you had that experience of, you know, the quantum hypnotherapy.
Oh yeah, the QHHT.
You know, QHHT, yeah.
Quantum something hypnosis therapy, but I've forgotten what the other H is, what it stands for. But that's
I don't know. But you know, when you're having that experience, you know, with every part of your being, that this life is like a sentence in an infinite book.
Yeah.
You know, it's not even a page, because it's our lives are so vast. We are literally the universe, you know, experiencing itself through the eyes of a single incarnation.
Thinking it's separate.
Thinking it's individual, thinking it's separate, thinking that it's got one life. And from that perspective, life is fucking brutal.
Yeah.
But from the other perspective, we realise, here I am in this opportunity playing this specific level, you know, and each level has different things. Even we all have seasons. Look at the outside. Everything's got seasons, you know, everything's a fractal. So life's sometimes going to be like a winter, and it's going to be cold. It's going to be hard, cold, brutal. Other times, the sun's going to shine, and you're going to smell the fresh, beautiful, you know, spring breeze and the gorgeous, you know, loveliness of the soil breaking with the new, you know, the new seedlings coming up, and the trees blossoming, and wow, you know, so we can't let the world dictate how we feel, because in any one moment the sun is always shining. You know, it's like, for many people, and this is where balance comes in, which I think was what you were saying earlier, and I think, you know, is really the, you know, the ultimate one is, like, it's middle path, isn't it? It's what Buddha was saying. Take the middle path. It's not about being an aesthetic, going, none of it's real, I'm just a astral projector and I don't believe in anything like this. And it's not also saying, oh, everything's so hard, life's full of it, you know, it's never going to change. You know, that's like nihilism. To be in the middle, to recognize, okay, life is hard, but that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, if it was easy, you really wouldn't be here. If you had nothing to work on, you'd be gone by now. You know?
Yeah.
And
that's
the opportunity, that's the blessing, isn't it? You know, like, whether or not we can taste it is down to us. This is the, you know, like, it's like we're on a theme park ride and it's gonna go up and down. That's guaranteed. There's gonna be moments where we're like, I don't think I can take it anymore. You know, and then we'll be like, oh God, yeah, okay, and then you'll be good again.
Then you go, oh, that was fun.
exactly. You go, wow, I want to have another go. And that's the thing, you know, we would. Most spirits, when given the chance, reincarnate.
I actually got this, I don't remember how I got it, but I seen it somewhere and they were talking about it. And I think on a podcast, it's called The Spirit's Book. I'm going to send it to you guys in the group. Where it talks about
do
stuff. So, because a lot of times people say that afterwards, when, you know, after they die and then they're up, they're like, oh, you didn't complete this, and they're like so angry, like, oh my God, send me back, right? Like,
that's it. You know,
like, when it's in front of you, you don't want to do it. You want to avoid it at all costs.
How even if you think about the most simplistic game we had, like the old snake game, you know, on your mobile phone. how long did people play that game for? You know, Tetris.
Yeah.
It's so simple. Yeah, it's just blocks like that. But there's a whole championship. People went mad. People spent hours.
Sorry.
You
Yelling
know,
at dogs and cats.
you know, so if we're having that sort of experience from such a basic concept of a game, you know, just block hits another block, imagine the complexity that life is offering us. And you know, I think we're all addicted to living. That's the truth of it, you know. And when we
dream.
Yeah, we're addicted to the dream. Honestly, we are. And when we get to a level where we've had enough, you know, and it's not had enough in a negative sense. It's like, and I've had points where like life just feels like there's nothing left in it for me. You know, at points it feels like,
I've had those, but
you know, it just feels like, it's just so, it's like the colour's drained out of it. But again, that's a season, because then suddenly you'll be sitting there.
Then there is.
Yeah, then suddenly there is. The light shines, the bird sings, the moon is there.
The eclipse of the moon the other night with the red blood moon. And it was just the most incredible miracle in the sky, because it had been really cloudy. And for a full hour, the clouds parted. And you could see that you had to be a night owl up late here.
I was up early, went for a walk, but I did not see it. Like, I seen the remnants of it behind like a tree. I think the time when I was walking, where I was in the middle was too many trees around, so I couldn't see it.
Okay. Well, we just constantly, every cosmic event, we have clouds. Does my head in. And that's what was happening earlier, true to form. But then I was up anyway when I should have been in bed, and I thought, bugger it, I'm going outside again to have one last look. And that was it was spectacular. And in the most peaceful way I've ever experienced. So you think that, you know, it's like whenever you have that feeling, maybe there isn't anything more. And then something like that happens. And it's a miracle. And it stayed, the awe. It stayed like that. It was surrounded by these incredible, beautiful stars just sitting there. This feeling of total peace and space. Like, I raved about it to Merite in one of the posts on, elastic perception, because it was just so incredible. And the Milky Way was across, I don't know, I think in the Northern Hemisphere you guys don't even see the Milky Way, do you? You poor things.
Sometimes
because
it depends.
The Milky Way is unbelievable, but often we have too much light pollution, but for some reason it was crystal clear. And I mean, we do see it, but I mean rarely see it with all
when we were young, when I was younger.
Brilliance.
We used to.
Yeah. And so that was there as well. You just had to turn your head and look up a bit further over was this whole trail of the Milky Way. And here it was like the full nearly 60 minutes, like 54 minutes or whatever it was set to be red. And then it began to whiten up and the clouds just returned. And I was like, thank you. It's okay now. I can go back inside. And
like the curtain's closing.
So what kind of ET are you, Marika?
I was many, but none of them were romantic. They were all funny kind of things. But I had my own spaceship and I was trotting off to meetings with other ETs and from different planets, and there were all different ones. So I don't know.
Do you know what kinds you were? Do you know some of the kinds that were named?
I have no idea. I don't know what planets. I don't know what universe they were in, dimension. I have no idea because
you just seen in the QHHT.
Because it actually was irrelevant somehow to what I was being shown, because what I was being shown was the multitude of me's, like you said, Matt, about, you know, the countless me. And but then there was like this amazing one where I didn't want to come to Earth, but I was having to come to Earth, but I was an ET. I wasn't actually human. And it was like, I think I was in Atlantis, and then it was destroyed. And there was this whole storyline that went with it, which I realized has affected me and come all the way through since then. And I haven't quite got rid of it. So it's the thing. So it showed me that was really major, and it came from that. But also these other beings, like hilarious, some of them. Like if I describe them, because is this still being recorded? Because it's going to haunt me forever.
God, tell us. You've got to tell us now.
Well, some of them were tall, kind of wispy, didn't quite touch the ground. And some of them, in this one where I was trotting off to my spacecraft, I was like a toad, but I was kind of round, this round brown toady being, and getting in my spacecraft, going off really seriously. Like I might have been I don't know if I was a diplomat or if I was quite high up in some kind of thing. And I went to this meeting in a mountain on some planet. Oh God, sorry. There's 3 dogs in this place and 3 cats. Now the 3 dogs, 2 of them are growling at each other. Sorry. Anyway, I'll
We
just
can't actually
muzzle
hear
this
it on
little one.
on here.
Oh,
Interestingly,
you're lucky. You just hear me yelling at them, reacting to them. Anyway, so there was this council meeting or whatever, and there was this beautiful female, amazing, like tall, kind of amazing being who was all the beautiful things, and here was me, the round, wrinkly toad kind of thing, coming in with my, I don't know if I had a briefcase and all my papers, but it was that kind of feel. And we sat around and we talked about these planets that were having issues and what we could
yeah,
do.
nice.
It was so cool. But I was not romantic. I was not some kind of hero or.
No,
So, and you remember that very vividly? Like, were you like really under when they were doing the hypnosis, or like
Yeah,
light?
for that time, but I could hear myself talking, but I knew that I was deeply in it. But then
Wow.
there was more time later when she was asking questions that I was answering, and I could feel that I had returned. My current me had returned, and I didn't trust my answers. I was kind of just coming out with things like I didn't know if what I was saying was what I wanted to think was the
Well,
answer. And that got worse in the end. But for that whole first time, hour or more, I don't know how long it was, but it was really amazing. And I got it cheaper because I knew her. So that was the thing. Because they're very expensive because the person spends all day with you.
Is
It's
it
about a
is it
6-hour
online?
process, isn't it?
You can't really do it online.
No.
Some people do, but it's supposed to be in person. So this woman had only done level 1 of the training. She was a little bit, she had her own views, you see, and I think later they started to creep in, whereas at that stage she was just guiding me through mine, but she would bring you back and say, now think of another one, you know, and she kind of was the one that got you to do that, got me to do it. So, but it was really cool. It was a major experience, just like LSD was a major one. Those dreams of past lives were then that vision of that other past life was a major experience. And there's just things that happen in your life, and the QHHT definitely was up there with those.
Yeah. I did a few sort of like one with Florentine and I forget her name. And then there was What's her name? I can't even remember. You know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about. I
Like
should know her name, but
they're doing the neural alignment ones.
yeah.
And then and she originally
Sounds like one I
had
want to
done with
listen to, but
Dolores.
I'm not sure.
But that was more like, it wasn't talking about ET stuff, right? But that is how she trained. And then there was another girl, Lisa Thompson, who channels, I think, galactics. I'm not sure if you heard of her. Some
No.
Arcturian Uluru. And so I kind of did one with her. But I think what's happening with me is I'm not going as deep. And because I'm so light, I'm just like, I feel like I'm kind of like making it up, right? Like, I don't know.
That is how it feels.
Yeah.
At the start, you know, it's kind of like greasing a pump. You have to kind of add the grease at the start to get the credit rolling, and then your imagination, because it's like going from your analytical mind, which can't access anything other than like a computer, like computational stuff, you know. To start going into these worlds, it's you have to kind of lie to yourself enough so it shuts up, so you can actually then receive real stuff.
I think I seen something like a mantis, maybe. I don't know if it was like reddish or blue color, two different ones. I don't know if that's what it was, but that's what I'm assuming it was. But then sometimes what happens to me is I'm like, oh, I think that looked like a cartoon back then, and that's what came to mind, or something like with Wild.
It's you using your analytical mind,
Thundercats,
counteracting
or something like that. And I was like, and this man, and that's what it was. It's what I was thinking. But I feel like I seen like also a ship that lit up, right? So I really don't know a lot of the times. And with the girl with the neural alignment, Marite did it too, and a few other people. They for that one, I thought nothing was happening. I was like not in a good space at the time. But at the end, for some reason, I started to feel my hands get really warm and bright, and my whole body lit up. And like, I was just like, something happened there a little bit. And I was just like, I'm always thinking, like, sometimes the doors open in my room and I'm like, I want to shut it. But I'm like, I don't want to get up and shut it. I want to shut it like telekinesis wise, right? Like, I'm just like, oh, you felt the power in your hands. But I do remember also, I think, a story with Florentine talking about one of his astral projections, I think, and he was able to throw like frozen ice or something, right? So then I was thinking about, like, Scorpion and Sub-Zero from like Mortal Kombat and things like that, and I had that feeling too. So I really don't know, it's a mixture, right? Like, it's kind of like, are you lucid dreaming or are you astral projecting? You're like, sometimes.
Well, it's called shamanic journeying. So, it exists. There's the upper and the lower world in the shamanic journeying, kind of cosmology. And, so they're all different spaces. The way that, for example, you're in a shamanic kind of journeying place opposed to a true out-of-body experience is that in a true out-of-body experience you should be able to feel and smell whatever is there, basically. And if you're not prodding it and feeling it, you're not having an out-of-body experience, you're having a shamanic journey experience. So it exists more in your third eye, like just kind of behind your eyes. And at points it will be very clear, like if someone asks you a question like, what color is the woman's handbag, you might be like, yeah, it's pink, it's totally pink, I can see it, but if I then asked you later who was behind her, or was she in front of a wall, you might not be able to tell me, because you'll be like, I don't know, I can't remember, so it can be quite selective as well. It's almost like you're zoning into specifics. So, it's interesting. I did a lot of shamanic journeying for a long time, and I had some amazing experiences. But
I've done.
you know, it definitely, you can easily walk away from them and kind of say, oh, they were just in my imagination, because that is where it's happening, you know,
because it's so like the line is like so thin.
Well,
Right?
it's just like you're watching a movie in your head, and it's like, you know, whereas when you have an out of body, it feels so natural, and it's and also we're to get there, we have to get into a slightly sleepy state as well. You know, we have to check out further enough from our analytical brain to even get there. So then as soon as the analytical brain comes back online, it just goes, oh yeah, this ineffable experience that seemed to take no time and lots of time, and you know, you spoke to someone and you got a message from them, and you know, you feel in some ways changed, but your analytical mind goes, yeah, but nothing's happened, you're still in your bedroom. Boom, that's it, whole experience, bedroom, that's it. And that's what the analytical mind does, because it can't contain the infinite space that we truly are, you know, because you weren't in your bedroom. Your eyes were shut. You were actually talking to someone. You were having a totally different experience. But you were using... It's like, almost like, imagine like astral projection is traveling using your astral body, which actually, as a vehicle, is quite a high-tech vehicle, right? It's you can feel stuff, you can, you know, you can feel speed even, you know, if you fly too fast, you feel it. It's like, fuck, I'm going too fast, this is scary now, you know. That's like your astral body. But then you have your shamanic energy body, or maybe it's like, I think in Aboriginal, like Native American, Australian, they would say dream time. And again, you know, even when we think about dreaming is also like that. Things aren't very solid in dreams, you know. So once again, we're tapping into a space that actually the analytical mind hates, because there's no certainty there. It's constantly shifting. But it doesn't mean it's not real. It just means it's different than what we're used to classing as reality.
How do you experience your guides, your spirit guides? Do you see them?
I have one main guide that I've, like, basically one day me and my partner Vic had decided to quit smoking cannabis, and we went to, and it just so happened to be the 420 event in London, the like cannabis, like pro cannabis march, or it's not really a march, everyone just sits in the park and gets stoned basically. And you know, being a strong advocate for cannabis and all plant medicines, I always like to kind of just be there. So I went there and we didn't take any cannabis, and obviously when we were there, we're like, what have we done? This is ridiculous. I want to enjoy it. And some guy very kindly offered us some of his cookie, or like whatever, fudge brownie or whatever. Anyway, we ate it. It was really strong. The journey back on the tube was mad, because it was like, I was like this big. My face was like, and I just needed to hide, you know, because it was just like, I just feel way too open for this. It was like, oh my God, you know, wow, I am like the whole carriage here, and I feel like everyone can see me and everyone knows it. It was just like, whoa. Anyway, we finally get back, and I'm desperate to go toilet, and we get in the car to just drive like 10 minutes back to our house from where we were. And by that point, I felt like I could definitely drive, but I'd really like to just get home really quickly. So we're sitting in the car, and I said to my partner, I need to go for a wee, because I'm going to burst if I don't go. And she's like, no, you're not. You need to sit here and listen, because our guides want to talk to us. And I was like, oh my God, you're taking the piss. You know, like literally, like, what are you chatting about, woman? Like, I really need to go, like, bless you, but like, you do not understand what I'm dealing with here. And she was like, no, Matt, if you leave, you'll miss it. I was like, all right then, okay, here we go. Pull it back in, Matt. You know, just like every part of me. I sat down. She held my hand and I was like, what do we do? She was just like, just breathe, Matt. So I just breathe. She was like, just shut up and be quiet for a minute. And I shut up and be quiet for a minute. And next thing I know, there's a whole panel of guides sitting up here. And they're all there. And they're chatting to me. And I'm like, hey, how have I not seen you before? And they were laughing at me. They were like, oh, bless you, Matt. Because if you saw us before this point in time or too often, you think you're going mad, you know. And I was like, that's fair. That's a fair point, to be honest, because, you know, like you're there, you know. So then we carry on. And the next thing I know, I feel myself being stroked. And I'm like, are you stroking me, Vic? She's like, I'm not moving my hand, Matt. I thought you were stroking me. So we both felt that we were being stroked by them. You know, just gently, just on the shoulder, just kind of like, it's all okay, you know. And they were about like 6, 7, 8 foot high beings of light, you know, no bodies, just pure light kind of thing, but individuated.
What color?
Just like
white
white golden light kind of thing. But there was a table. There was a table there, and they were on chairs, you know. So it's like I couldn't see their kind of maybe like more of their form, but they were there and they were kind of individuated, and there was all different characters. You could clearly they all had different personalities, and they told me that I had 11 guides. One, like my main guide was called Sophie. And if I was up for it, sorry, not Sophie, Sophia, if I was up for it, they would talk to me some more when I got home. Now, by the time I got home, I don't know if you've ever had too much cannabis, like edibles, but when it starts to go the wrong direction, it's like you're spinning and you can't actually stop the spinning. It's like you spend all of your energy just trying to kind of like, I don't know, just get yourself back in your body, because it's like you're not fully out of your body, but you're not really in it either. And it's just like you're spinning around. It's so nauseating. So I'd had that for some time already, and it got to quite a high point. And so when I walked in, Vic was like, Matt, they're here. They want to talk to us. I was like, fuck off. It's just, I can't do any more. Like, I've hit my level.
Like, I can't do it.
Yeah, it's like I can't take any more spangliness. It's like I've got the message. I've had a big upgrade. I've realized there's like angels or guides that like I accepted before, but I didn't know, you know. So when you have that moment where you truly know, it's like, you know, it's still quite a shock.
Did you ever experience it again?
So I met like Gaia, basically, like this being. I was on, again, ridiculous amounts of LSD, 5 tabs of LSD, which we'd had a lot. We'd had a bottle and we'd had a lot. We'd been to a lot of festivals. It had been amazing. It was just like, wow, just pure connection, you know. And then we found ourselves like in London, and there was this party that was going to be happening, and we thought, yeah, we'll go and we'll take the same amount we were taking before, because that felt like a good idea. Oh my God. It was like we'd had a 2-week break, and then being in London, being inside this club, you know, it's I think the club's called like Jumping Jacks, but it's basically like a dungeon, you know. So it's quite intense, and the music was really intense. I mean, like, they're obviously they know what they're doing, but it's not, I don't like what they're doing, if that makes sense. You know, very clever, but it's like you could just make nicer music that makes people feel better, you know. And on that amount of acid, I want to feel good. You know, right? I don't need any more challenges. And it was quite challenging, but
yeah,
I passed out, not passed out, but I was on the floor, my partner's on the floor, and I meet this woman, who's not a real woman. She was like half there, half not. Like as I looked at her, it was almost like looking at a hologram. And she had a holographic earth next to her, and she's just telling me that, you know, like that, you know, we've got to care for the earth, and, you know, look at all this. And she was talking to me about all of these different things, and then I had this moment where I realized or thought, like, oh my God, like I've created all of this, not me, not Matthew, but like Source has created all of this, and all of my problems are actually my actions. You know, total responsibility is level 1. You know, take responsibility for what you see in your life. You know, if you're seeing it, it's because you're drawing it to you through your energy and your vibration, and you've asked for that, so accept it and get the messages. So so I started having that, and I got to a point where I'd kind of like, I got a lot of lessons, and I was just like, I need to check on Vic, because I hadn't spoke to her for like an hour, 2 hours, and we're just in this club, and she's like on the floor there, I'm like hunched over here, you know, and I turn around to her, and I walk over to her, and I'm like, are you okay? And I'm having this whole thought that I've created everybody, and everyone else that I could think of, all of my friends, all of my family, it's almost like they were adhering to a pattern that was like I could almost predict it. It's almost like I knew who they were, because you know, it's like we were the same. So, you know, so it was very hard to kind of see any difference. But then when I thought about Vic, I thought she's like the only person who I never truly know what she's going to say. You know, she'll always come out with something completely random that will be like, what? How are you there? How are you there? And so in this moment, I'm having this thought, I'm looking at her. She looks like a rag doll, like this. You know, she's just like, I'm like, oh my God, not you as well, you know. And I finally kind of get through to her, and I'm like, I love you. Babsy, come back. I love you. I love you. Come back. And in her world, in her psychedelic journey, she'd actually become the shiny bit of, you know, the quartz shiny bit that you have in paving slabs sometimes. She became a paving slab in New York with people walking all over her. And she accepted that that's who she was. That was her. She was just she from her perspective, she was a shiny bit of paving slab, and she was so happy that she was shiny, and she just, that was her life. But then when I started shouting like, I love you, she was like, oh, maybe I'm a shiny piece of floor, but someone loves me, you know. And she said it was almost like she could hear the sound coming from a different universe through like a funnel, and then she just followed the sound, and then she came back, and then we got in a cab and went home. You know?
What about when you're on mushrooms though? Like, what kind of experience have you had there?
Well, Vix has met fairies on mushrooms. They've literally come in and put a quilt over her, and, you know, they've spoke to her in different things. One day on magic mushrooms, Vic walked, I think it might have been after we'd had shrooms, I'm not even sure if she was on shrooms, but she walked out to the bathroom, and we've got like a glass mirror, you know, and the spirit said to her, look in the mirror and we'll show you the afterlife. You can come and have a look. And she was like, nah, I'm all right, thanks. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, yeah, I like the idea of mirror scrying. It sounds really exciting, but now it's actually right in front of me. It's like, oof, maybe I'll take a moment, you know? And I think that's the reality of the situation, is that, like, you know, psychedelics are really powerful to help you get there, because most of the time we will back off because our ego is so strong, it so wants to hold on to its concept that it will prevent you from, you know, even taking positive steps towards things you even want, you know. just because it will become destroyed, and it knows that. It knows, from its perspective, when you stop thinking, it dies.
What is the biggest dose you took?
Of what?
The shrooms.
So the biggest dose I've took of shrooms is probably about 5 or 6 grams.
Oh yeah, that's what they call the hero dose, right?
Yeah, but they were weak shrooms. My first dose of shrooms that I ever had, I ate 3 people's dosage, and that was next level.
I guess it depends on that, if it was strong or not. Right?
And also first time also helps. I met the mushroom god. He was a little dude that just was in front of me. He gave me a massage, pulled all the trauma out of my body. It was brutal. I couldn't walk for days. It took 8 hours. It was really horrific, but it was the first part of my true healing journey. So I'm forever grateful. So yeah, and other than that, there's ayahuasca, there's DMT, there's 5-MeO DMT. There's LSD. Also, I've combined LSD with iboga. Iboga by itself is really powerful. Combine it with LSD.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, iboga. Okay, yeah.
Iboga, it's the African root bark, and it's particularly used.
I haven't
for
even
people,
heard of it.
Yeah, it's used for people who've got addictions to like heroin and stuff. It resets your whole opioid system in your body. It's very, very powerful, very amazing. But it's also one of the it's definitely up there in terms of one of the most potent spirit guide experiences you can have, because the iboga spirit, I don't know if you know anything about ayahuasca, but ayahuasca can be a little bit selective. It doesn't always chat to you. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It can be a bit hit and miss. Mushrooms, pretty much guaranteed you're going to get something good. Ayahuasca, a little bit more difficult. Iboga, also pretty much guaranteed. You will pretty much meet the iboga granddad spirit. It's a granddad energy. It's quite fucking forthright. It will literally show you and tell you everything you're doing wrong. But there's a love there of like a grandfatherly figure. That's palpable.
I thought that's how the ayahuasca was, because they call it the mother ayahuasca.
So that's the iboga's good, and the iboga is where I had my first only proper full out of body experience with a psychedelic. So most psychedelics give you some form of modulated experience, like you might be doing DMT, but you're in the DMT realm. You are definitely out of your body, but you're not having a out of body experience like we would doing the practices that we do. They'd be very different.
It's lifetime something, right? Like
it's different. Like one's like getting on a rocket, and the other one's like becoming light. They both take you kind of to the same place, but it's different. You can control it slightly more without the
When you do the mushrooms though as a microdose, like what is the experience with that? How do you feel?
So with the right microdose, once you find your place, then it can just be like a magical day, kind of like you have that sense of, it's all okay, it's like the worries that were dragging me down. It's like after a good breathwork session, it's that type of thing. It's that type of feeling.
More clarity and stuff too?
Yeah. However, and I do find this with magic mushroom microdosing, is if you don't have enough or you have slightly too much, then you can find yourself in
the psychedelic experience.
No, it would be great if it was a psychedelic space.
Oh, it would just be like flat.
But it's almost like you're flat.
Okay, I experienced that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I call that the processing space. So, it's kind of like you can't do anything. There's no fireworks. There's nothing happening, but also you don't.
It was really like mute, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's just muted, and you feel like you just want to curl up and go into fetal position, but you've got no reason to. There's no reason. There's nothing attacking you. No, it's like I just, So that can happen. So I tend to, if I microdose, I tend to, depending what I'm doing, if I want creativity and kind of like, kind of quite good energy, then I like to microdose LSD over magic mushrooms. Whereas if I'm spending time in nature or with friends, then magic mushrooms.
Because I was inside, and then you couldn't really like go outside because it wasn't a nice day. So it would more. You want to do it when it's nice out, right?
Yeah, it's nice to do it when it's nice out, and I think. You be realistic about what you're expecting. If you want a journey, have a journey. Microdosing will not kind of substitute having a proper journey.
I'm looking more for like just to bring like clarity or like just so that the brain, it can do the work on the brain, but just have myself as a regular day, like if I didn't take anything, like. And so I thought that they say when you microdose shrooms, you're not getting an experience, you're just it's just a regular day, but you have to do like 2 days on, 3 days off, or I think it was about. Is that
again? That's the Fadiman protocol. But even when if you I've watched many interviews with Fadiman. He's very clear that is a very much like just a suggestion.
Or 3 days on, 2 days off. One of the two.
But the real protocol is to use it as much as you feel like you need it, and then stop for a bit. Once you feel like you don't.
Mix it with lion's mane?
I don't personally. I kind of got into a little bit of that, but I don't know. For me,
because I heard that
the magic of the mushrooms is already there, kind of, without having to add anything else too much to it.
Okay. The microdose thing, I thought they were saying for your brain, it's good to do lion's mane.
I'm sure it
and
is.
Niacin, I think, Stammet.
But be careful with niacin, because if you take niacin and you don't take it before, you will get hot flashes and you'll feel like pins and needles all over your body, and it's really not a very nice experience.
Have you had?
Yeah, it's not nice. It's like getting hives or something, Yeah. So many people when they first take niacin will have a relatively negative experience from it. So just be careful with that one. But if you get over that, many people have great experiences. Doing the Paul Stamets microdosing protocol, which is what you're referring to.
Right. Well, I know I kept you so long. Thank you.
But the key is, Nafeza, just be present with what you're doing. There's no book or guide out there that's going to be better at understanding your experience than you.
Right. Yeah.
That's it. So all we've got tools, right? And then you've got you. So use the tools to help you, and be present as much as you can when you're using the tools to see if it's taking you to a good place. And if it is, if day one, let's say like I don't know, 1/10 of a gram is feeling good for you, then that's brilliant. Wow, you've had a beautiful day. That's kind of put you on that new trajectory. Maybe feel like you've shifted a timeline. Different potentials are now opening up to you. So then, you might have another day and you think, okay, well, yesterday was great, so I might have another go tomorrow. Tomorrow might not be so good.
It's like meditation. Sometimes it was really deep and then sometimes not. But it's still doing something for the brain neuron connecting.
Exactly.
Right? That's
Yeah.
what I'm looking for. Yeah.
So you'll find your sense of kind of center becomes wider, basically. You know, and that's that neural reprogramming. That's that, you know, all of the good stuff that magic mushrooms do, the psilocybin that's doing to your brain. So it's like the next morning you'll just wake up. Like I've had it where I've taken magic mushrooms, maybe microdosed or even a big dose, and it's done very little. Like, you know, I've not had a great time. I've nothing to tell anyone anything about. But then the next morning I'll wake up and it's like, oh my God, I feel like a completely new being.
Like, do you do like just the regular, like just takes lion's mane powders or cordyceps powders, like those kind of mushrooms?
So I have a few different. I have a organic red mix, which I have for kind of adrenal and energy, which has got cordyceps in it. It's got like it's got all sorts of things in it. I'm making a video about it soon. Then I have a all-in-one green juice, which I use at other times, like if I don't want so much mental energy, but maybe I need a little bit more physical energy. And that contains everything, basically, for every part of the body.
You drink it like a tea, like the mushroom?
No, it's just like a green powder, and I just mix it with a bit of milk. It's got the mushroom one's a red powder.
And you mix it with milk too?
The red one I mix with water.
Water.
Yeah. So they've got slightly different flavors, but they're both natural, no added sugar, no added crap.
Do you heat that one up or no?
No, just cold.
Just regular.
Yeah. And that's it, really.
What's
I just
called?
use the green one's called Vital All-in-One. And it's not necessarily cheap. It's like a kilogram of it's like 76 quid. But it will last me that'll probably last me about a year, you know.
That one is like spirulina and all that stuff.
It covers every single part of the body, the nervous system, your brain, you know, your lymphs, everything. It's got 82 different ingredients in it.
And what's the red one called?
The red one's called Organic Reds, I think.
Oh, okay. I think I know. Is Organics?
It's Organica or something like that. And it's that one's about 40 quid for like
They're both
a 30
from the
days
same
supply.
company. They're both
two
from
different companies.
Okay.
But then the only other thing that I use regularly that I personally adore and just have a very close relationship with is cannabis. You know, for me, it opens up pretty much anything that needs to be open most of the time for me.
So you don't feel that one is a higher frequency, like the shrooms are high, or the ayahuasca?
LSD is the highest frequency, basically. Out of the between cannabis and LSD, LSD wins. Between LSD and magic mushrooms, they have different purposes. Mushrooms is like a slow burn, and LSD is like a fast burn. It's hard to say which is better. However, LSD can tend to bring you to a higher place quicker because your LSD seems to connect you directly to your higher self, whereas magic mushrooms will take you to your higher self, but it's going through like the mycelium intelligence, so it's got its own earthy earthy kind of energy to it, whereas LSD is more cosmic. It's less of the earth in a sense.
It's not natural, right? Like
it's actually its original form is ergot, and ergot is basically grown on wheat. And in the medieval era, just as Christianity was being born, what were they giving out in churches? They were giving out the little breads, right? those little breads went off. And then when people put them in their tongue, they started seeing Christ. That's ergot poisoning. And it's all documented. But basically, ergot is LSD. It's just ergot is a poison. LSD is refined to take out the bad stuff. So, but all of these things, you know, they're all tools. They all bring us to a certain place. And I think it's important to be honest about them, because otherwise we're just lying to each other. But also,
you don't feel that the shrooms is a higher frequency than the cannabis?
I think what's nice about cannabis is it's something you can actually do every day if you want to, and it constantly provides. You know, like if you tried to take magic mushrooms every day, you would become exhausted. It's just not possible. You can't do it. I've been in a position where I could do it if I wanted to, and I can't, because it's just like you get like diminished returns. It's like, why have I done this? What's the point? Whereas with cannabis, it's almost like, you know, you can take your whole day, and what was concerning, upsetting, distressing, all of that can just be literally in and out breath. Now, after a while of doing a lot of LSD and a lot of cannabis and a lot of meditation and breath work and all sorts of things, me and my friends started doing this thing called smoking a Buddha bud, or smoking Christ, you know, which was, as it sounds, instead of, you know, just like you would, you know, like I remember what it is to smoke cannabis on LSD, for example. That feeling is a feeling for me of like, wow, like soaring, like I am Christ, you know. It's so beautiful. Well, if I can remember that, I can just do that again.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? My other half is he did a lot of shrooms, and so now he's experiencing where it's like if he's not even on the shrooms, he's on the shrooms, right?
Yeah.
Like every day. And so he's also like he says that it does this thing, and then I don't know, creates a bubble around him and does a bunch of other stuff. And so he's now seeing like this energy kind of ball, I guess, and like can ask it questions and answers right away and stuff like that. And so, you know, he's like, if you have anything that you want to ask, you can ask and whatever. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like on my perception, I'm like, I don't know to trust it, right? But like, you know, he feels like he's in the know of whatever, right? And I'm like, I'm just not trying to judge. I'm trying to see how things flow, and because you know the person how they were before, and the amount of different blow-ups and different things, you know. So, you know, it's hard for me to now come and trust you just like that, right? So I don't want to, like, yeah, maybe your ego's gone, who knows? But let's see what really is the truth, right? And only time will tell, I guess, right? But yeah, I had wanted to talk to you about that for a while, but
well, that sounds in alignment with the type of experiences that I've had. Not that you should take anything anyone says, you know, without critical thought, you know, but absolutely, it sounds like, you know, he's definitely tapping into something, and you know, with shrooms and all these different things, you know, like we were saying earlier, once you start to realize that you can actually just talk to spirit, or you can talk to the universe, you know, it all becomes so, like, what would become like feel abstract and difficult for us to understand becomes almost just like you're saying, you're part of saying, yeah, there's a ball here, and if I ask it a question, it tells me the answer, you know. That's it. It can get that simple. But, you know, we can do that without the shrooms as well, you know. So, like, you know, I think I was talking a while ago just about, you know, how to talk to the universe, you know, how do you actually talk to it? Do you have a conversation? Because if you're not, it's never going to fucking talk to you, is it? You know? It's like we've got to open that channel. So if we open that channel through psychedelics, through breathwork, through a conversation like we're having now, then we actually put action into it. We you know, in the morning we say, show me the magic, you know, and then later on in the day you say, okay, I'm going to be, you know, doing this thing at my work today, or I've got this specific thing that I want to do. I'd like you to show me in thoughts, images, sensations, clear step by step instructions on how to get the best results. That's how I talk to the universe.
If you are able to make with whatever you're making and stuff like that, like some phrases and stuff of like what you really kind of ask and whatever, so then I can kind of have an idea, or everybody else too can, so that you can build on it to make it your own, right? That would be really, really helpful, Matt.
That's it. I've literally just told you what I say, you know. It really is that simple. I literally say to the universe, show me through thoughts, images and sounds. Speak to me in my head, in my voice, you know. Give it permission. Because if you sit there and you hear your own voice saying, oh, maybe you should go to the shops right now, and you don't need to go to the shops, you're just going to ignore it, right? You're not going to listen. You would just think it was you, and you'll never know, because how would you know? Nothing's happened. You just got on with your life. But if you actually actively say, show me through thoughts, images in my mind, voices in my head, you know, these are things people avoid. People actually take drugs to avoid hearing voices in their head. So if we want to hear them, we actually have to actively kind of like open ourselves to it, you know, because we're naturally closed from it because it's weird. You're a freak. You're crazy. You deserve to be in a mental institute. That's what we're living in. That's the condition. So we have to create as much intensity to open away from that conditioning, and that's where we then, you know, do the breath work, get into that higher state, feel that spaciousness, then command it, say, hey, show me through thoughts in my head, visualizations, images, and I want step by step instructions. Be specific.
And
say exactly what you want.
Talking like specifically on a specific time every day, or do you just do it whenever?
Just when I need it. So like I will do it like usually before one of these events. I'll get to a point where I'm like, okay, I need to create something. You know, what am I gonna do? I don't know. Matt doesn't know. Matt hasn't got a fucking clue. He's just gonna, you know, he doesn't know what's going on. He's just surfing. But if I ask the universe, I'll say, show me through, step-by-step guide, exactly what to do. When I asked that, that's how I came up with quantum connection, you know? And there's loads of detail in that. Do you know what I mean? There's so much information, there's so much work. And like, even though it's not still going and it's not become this huge thing, that's me doing that was like one of the most exciting, cool things I ever did. You know, just going on that journey with us all, experimenting with our psychic abilities and our intuitive senses. Like, wow, what a cool vibe, you know? So now it's like I've... Go on.
Oh, no, go ahead. It's okay.
No, go on.
I think what I've been noticing as we continue to go on the journey is like, I thought I didn't have my intuition, but I did, and I was following it a lot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so you're just like, okay. So, but it's just like they made it seem like, you know, like I guess in Hollywood, like it's this big booming voice, and when, you know, it's something that you're just doing just naturally, and it's in you, and you're already.
It's the quiet voice. It's the quiet voice. Yeah. You know, it's the voice in between the thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, it's not exciting. It's not like, wow, there's no one listening. No one's going to turn around and go, oh my God, wasn't that an amazing insight you had? You know, it's just, you know, but if we listen and we follow these little breadcrumbs, then you end up meeting people. Now, maybe that meeting that person doesn't change your life, but maybe it might change their life. Maybe, you know, maybe something else happens. Maybe they introduce you to someone else and then boom, wow, they're offering you a job. How did I get here? I got here because I listened to something that said to me to go to the supermarket that day.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't a big event. I just went and got something, you know, but then I bumped into someone and then this happened and that happened. So it's like, it's same with all of these things, you know. In one hand, it's completely magical and completely like, wow. But on the other hand, so normal.
So plain.
It's completely mundane. You know, and that's the beauty of it, I think, really.
Yeah.
It's not about becoming more, it's about becoming more, like, not more aware. It's like tapping into what is already there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's about trusting more.
There we go. That was a good little sort out. What do you reckon?
Yeah, for sure.
That was a great conversation. Thank you, Nafeza. Thank you, Marika. And thank you, David, for being part of that as well.
Take care. He's so quiet over there.
There's lots of things to think about.
That was real cool.
Thank you. Thanks for all
if we
your
don't talk,
experiences.
if we don't actually talk like this, it all feels a little bit empty, you know. You know, it just becomes like Matt doing this thing on the screen. It's like, I don't want to talk to myself.
Yeah. No.
Community.
I know.
Right?
You know, I want to hear what you guys think.
I really appreciate
this community.
Oh, sorry, I'll start.
No, go ahead. I was just saying thank you for creating this community, Matt. Much gratitude.
Yes, thank you so much.
Well,
I was just saying
thank
you for the talk about all sorts of topics, because I often feel that I shouldn't be talking about those topics with anyone who's spiritually minded, because they don't want to go there, and so people are like trying to minimize their own freak out probably about some of the stuff. And so for me, it's really helpful to just be able to talk about everything without having to try and cut bits off or something.
Yeah, we don't need to censor ourselves. There's too much censorship anyway.
Exactly, that's the word.
That's why I swear a lot, you know, and I'm sure people notice it, but I do it because I'm trying to give permission, you know, permission to that part of us that naturally tries to hold itself back because of societal rules and constructions and all of this bollocks. You know, because if we don't have spaces that we can actually be ourselves, we can say, oh, fuck's sake, it really is fucking crazy out there. You know, if you don't have that, then it just boils up, and that's called cancer, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree.
That's it. So, it's been a pleasure. And, I look forward to our next one. Who knows what it'll be?
Yeah.
I'll ask the universe. We'll see what happens.
So what you did today was more like the humming breath that's in the group, right? That's in the premium. That's what it's called, humming group?
Yes. So I did a combination of, it was actually a combination of the coming home one we did. I think you did that one. So we did the two kind of like, I think they're about 50 breaths, fast breathing with the pineal pool DMT. Then we moved into a chakra humming journey, and that's part of the in the premium. It's called sonic chakra activation.
Right. Right. Okay.
And that's there. So I combined those two together because I thought that they would work quite nicely, actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Awesome. Right.
Oh, you've added something else here? Fire. Oh, the shamanic tools fire.
Oh, yeah. I just added that. That's a that's how to work with fire as a shamanic kind of elemental element. It's basically breathing into the fire as a practice.
Right. Yes.
So, and if you were here earlier, I was telling people about the my friend with these big fires. So we were having these big fires with about 30, 40 of us, and at points the fire will go down. And I was around my friend's house recently, and the fire was going down, and it felt like I needed to get down there to give it some life, And as I got down on the floor, I was kneeling. I just started doing basically what felt right, which was all the way out, and then and breathing right into the fire, and doing it with such a pace and rhythm that it basically builds up the DMT feeling, that tingling feeling. And I've found that when you're doing it with a fire, it builds it much faster than without the fire. So there's some sort of alchemical process going on here. I talk a little bit more about it in the video, but that's what that's all about. And it's a simple process, but if you're someone who enjoys fire and being outside and breath work, then actually combining it all as one experience can actually be really profound.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Matt.
Yeah.
Appreciate you so much. Much gratitude.
And appreciate you guys as well.
Yes.
Thanks for being here, Marika and David. Take care.
Thank you as well.
Yeah, lovely to meet you, David. Hopefully see you again. And Marika, always a pleasure. Always love our conversations, and the phaser, same right back at you.
Take care. Bye, guys. Love you.
So much peace and love. Ciao, ciao, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.